Manuel Akanji is with Sam Matterface.
He is, and he's trying to steal my microphone, but he's not having that, but he is taking away 3 points today. What did you make of the performance?
I think it was a really good performance from our team. First half, I think we had a lot of control over it. Maybe we can score the second goal because we were in a good shape. We put pressure on them. We were in a couple of situations where we could have scored a goal, but maybe the shot got blocked or we didn't really give the best last pass. And then in the second half, we started well, and then Newcastle had like 5-10 minutes where they put some pressure on us, and then Bernardo came in, and I think with his first touch he scored a goal. The second one, it was really a crucial moment for us, and I'm really happy about the 3 points and the clean sheet today.
How much does that underscore the quality in this squad that you can make a change like that and an instant impact?
Yeah, I think when you just look at the bench, you can see the quality that we have there. Even some players that didn't come on today, and that's really important for us when we can see a player like Bernardo comes in and he has an instant impact also before on the pressing that led to the goal. He was there sprinting again on 2 players, and yeah, that helps us a lot.
Since you've beaten Arsenal, they've gone on quite a good run. They play later today. Has that sort of spurred you on to continue winning and putting points on the board?
It doesn't matter if they win or lose. We want to win always our games. We can't control the outcome of their game unless they come here then to play that game. But in the other ones, we try to win our games, and we will see what happens in the others. But yeah, got to focus on ourselves.
Do you quite relish hunting them down?
What's relish?
Do you enjoy hunting them down?
Yeah, if it pays out in the end, I enjoy it. I only care about winning the trophy at the end of the season. It's still a way to get there, and I'm confident if we win our games that we can lift the trophy in the end of the year. But we have to be consistent. We have to bring our best performance in the upcoming games, and then I'm confident that we're going to be in a good position at the end of the year.
Thanks for joining us.
There you go, that's Akanji with Sam Matterface, and sharing the TalkSport stage with Akanji, Sam Rosbottom from Betfair. What a moment for you. Talk to me about Chelsea against Leeds, Sam, because I think a lot of people will be back in Chelsea, but not with any great confidence.
I've got to say, what a privilege for Manuel. Looking at this Chelsea-Leeds game, look, we can't escape the fact that the pressure is on Graham Potter. He is as short as 4-11 to be the next Premier League manager to leave their role. Chelsea, though, 4-7 to do the business and get the 3 points today. However, they have won just 2 of their last 15 Premier League matches. Leeds, who have only won 1 away game all season, are 5-1. The draw 31-10.
Quick one on Spurs at Wolves today.
Yeah, look, Spurs take away that disappointment last time out in the FA Cup. They've won 4 of their last 5 league games, and they've been backed to win this one today. They're as short as 13-10 to get all 3 points. Wolves at home, 23-10. They're looking to put a little bit more daylight between them and the relegation zone. The draw is 9-4. Interestingly, Harry Kane has scored the opening goals in... he scored the most opening goals in a Premier League match, more than any other player this season. He's 4-1 to score first today.
Sam, thanks very much for that odds update. All thanks to Betfair 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Game day on TalkSport with Betfair. Get a hand from Betfair's popular bet builder and easily add our fan favourite football selections to your bet slip. Terms and conditions apply. See support.betfair.com. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
We are around the grounds in the Championship. We're at Hillsborough for Sheffield Wednesday, top of League One against Peterborough as well. Round the grounds with all the goals as they go in on TalkSport. Arsenal against Bournemouth is on TalkSport 2. If you want to listen to that, then download the TalkSport app for free. It's very quick to download, easy to use, and you can swipe between us here on TalkSport and the commentary on TalkSport 2, or simply tell your smart speaker to play TalkSport 2. Let's go back to our guys. David Connolly's at Brighton against West Ham. I watched West Ham at Man United in the Cup side. Ben Rama was fantastic. I'm not totally sure David Moyes believes in him, but he's put him back in the starting lineup today. If he continues that kind of form, he can make a difference for West Ham down at the bottom.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we worked when he came on here and he scored against Brighton with another similar sort of goal with Curler. So he's in the team. I thought they played pretty well in large parts. I mean, United came on strong in that game, but look, to play anything like they did against Forest, I thought they were fantastic there. They got Danny Ings in the team, goal scorer. They rested him midweek. I think David Moyes has tried to manage him without probably publicly saying, the challenges probably that he faces, right, in terms of keeping Danny Ings fit. If, for example, he plays him, and he pulls his hamstring or whatever, and he's out till the end of the season, they're in big trouble. But I think he's had to manage his fitness. They've got a fox in the box, they've got a goal scorer, so they've always got a chance. And I think things are looking up. Look, they've got Europe in midweek as well. This could be a good start to the week for them. So I think they're coming here. I think they'll take a lot of solace from that Man United performance and the Forest game. And I think they'll be pretty strong here, West Ham.
Well, the away form is a concern, though. One away win in 12 in the Premier League, and some Hammers fans might well have a right to point to David Moyes and say, well, it's because of the way you set up away from home.
Well, maybe not. I mean, if you look at the side that he's got out today, that midfield, Paquetá, Rice, Souček is as good as it's going to get for them. That's pretty strong. Ings coming in fantastic. I mean, look, Agard's back fit. He's in the team, although he had a bit of an error against United. But look, I think this West Ham team between now and the end of the season is going to do pretty well. I think they'll comfortably climb away from danger. That stat about away form is something they can obviously put to bed here.
Trevor Sinclair, you're watching Wolves Spurs. Spurs lose a lot of games. I mean, lost to Sheffield United in the Cup, lost 8 of their Premier League games so far this season as well. How on earth are they fourth and 4 points clear in fourth as well?
Well, I think you look at the forwards they've got. We mentioned it earlier there about Harry Kane scored the most first opening goals in the Premier League this season. He scores for fun. He's a goal scoring machine. I think they've got a good side when everyone's fit and they've got everyone at their disposal. The bad thing is they've not got Bentancur, who I think brings a lot of creativity. He's good out of possession, he wins the ball back quickly, and I think they do miss him. But you look at the results, apart from the Leicester result, which was really disappointing away from home where they lost 4-1, they have been consistent. They've beaten West Ham, they've beaten Chelsea, and we know where Chelsea are at the moment. They're a little bit all over the place with all the new players, and Potter's got his work cut out there, but in general they have been consistent, and that's why they're fourth in the league.
Well, I want to talk to you both about Chelsea. Trevor, first of all, Leeds here today. If they do a Southampton and lose at Chelsea, they've got Dortmund here and they've got to overturn a 1-0 first leg deficit. Dortmund went top of the Bundesliga last night with that 2-1 win over Leipzig. I just wonder, at what point do things break, or do they continue with Potter even though it's absolutely shambolic? 14 points off the top 4, lost the last 3, no win in 6. His 17 games, all competitions, won 3, drawn 4, lost 10. So what do they do, Trevor?
I actually think it's the most difficult game in football, the Chelsea job at the moment, with the amount of investment they've made, £600 million worth of players. Some of them players were not his choice as well, I believe.
Trevor, just stop right there. Let's go back to the Etihad. Pep Guardiola is with Sam Matterface.
You have lost to Pep Guardiola because he's just walked off and had a conversation with somebody else, but he is coming over as we speak. He's walking over towards me now, and he is here and ready for action. Good afternoon, Pep. Congratulations. It was a tough old game against a rigid opponent. How did you see it?
Completely agree with you. Tough game against a difficult, extraordinary opponent.
There are a team that are quite difficult to break down, but you've got some great weapons in your squad. And how key was that substitution of Bernardo Silva?
Yeah, substitution is good because we scored a goal and we won. When the substitution doesn't score a goal or don't score a goal and we lose, the substitution is a disaster.
And did Kevin De Bruyne think it was a disaster because he wasn't too happy when he came off?
He's incredibly happy we won 2-0.
But is he sort of frustrated that he couldn't make the contributions that he wanted today?
Well, next game, our opportunity to do it.
In terms of Phil Foden, he's scored in the last 3 games. He was terrific in midweek against Bristol City. Great again today. How pleased are you that he has rekindled his form?
He's a guy like his standard is so high that people expect that make magnificent things, and he struggled with the ankle this year a lot, and step by step he's be back, and of course for the momentum for the strikers is so important, you know what I mean? So for the players that don't play, for the momentum for the strikers score goals, give you a confident rise, and for the team always is a benefit.
In terms of putting 3 points on the board and closing the gap, just for now anyway, to Arsenal, how important was that?
We'll wait at the end of the week.
But keep winging over and over again, that's important, isn't it?
The important is that we leave the 5th on the distance. I know they have 2 games less than us, but we have 70 points behind Newcastle, and to qualify for the Champions League next season is so important.
That's your main priority? getting that done first?
I assure you that we qualify for the Champions League next season. I go to the best restaurant in Manchester and make the best dinner as possible, because it's the best we can give to the club. To be sustainable, to be positive, to be there, be in the Champions next season is sometimes more important than win the Premier League. So being there closer, no closer, but of course the gap now is, if they win the both games, will be 11 points, so still is not done, but it's important to take that distance.
Yeah, not too many times you've won more than 3 games in a row this season. You've won 3 in a row now. How important is it to keep that run going?
If you want to fight for the title at the end, you have to make an incredible run to win, otherwise it will not be possible.
Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Well, there you go, Pep Guardiola with TalkSport's Sam Matterface after Manchester City beat Newcastle 2-0. Newcastle had chances, but a terrific Phil Foden goal in the first half, and then one from the sub Bernardo Silva in the second half gave Manchester City the win to go 2 points behind Arsenal, who are about to kick off against Bournemouth live on TalkSport 2. And a reminder, he's talking about going on a run there, Pep Guardiola. City didn't lose any of their last 12 games last season. They won 9, drew 3, won the title only by a point. So they needed to be in that great form, but they are capable of it. They've done it before. They are going to need to do it again, because Arsenal just don't seem to be losing games right now. Arsenal Bournemouth live on TalkSport 2. Here on TalkSport, we're taking you around the grounds, bringing you all the goals as they go in, and it's Leeds United who will kick us off here at Stamford Bridge. Potter under pressure. Chelsea need a win. They need some positivity as we get underway at Stamford Bridge. A reminder that, yes, 2-0 to Manchester City against Newcastle in the Championship last night on TalkSport 2. It finished Hull 2, West Brom 0. This lunchtime was 4th against 2nd. Cracking game. It was also live on TalkSport 2. It finished Blackburn 1, Sheffield United 0. Rovers up to 3rd. Blades have lost 3 of the last 4 league games, but they are into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. And Cardiff jump up above Rotherham into 5th bottom after a 2-0 win over Bristol City. Cardiff ended the game with 10 men. Keeper Ryan Allsop sent off for handball outside the box late on. Defender Perry Ng ended up in goal for Cardiff City. They kept the clean sheet, and Cardiff win by 2-0. In League One, Bolton were held by 5th bottom Morecambe 0-0. So Bolton stay 4th. Just 1 win in 4 though for Ian Everett's side, and Morecambe a point above the bottom 4, point above the relegation zone right now. We've got a goal in the Premier League at the Emirates. Let's head
The hardest thing for me coming into this game was seeing Bournemouth score. Well, they've done that in the first minute. I think they can actually set the stall out to be solid, strong, and resilient. We'll find out if that's going to be enough.
It's like they're starting the game with a handicap. It's like I said, right, we'll give you this, and then we'll show you what we can do. Well, 2 minutes gone, and they've got to show what they can do, Arsenal. A goal down here, if you're just tuning in. Unbelievably, Philip Billing with Bournemouth's first attack right from the kickoff has put the cherries ahead. Bukayo Saka on the near side, the right, attacking the clock end to our right. Jordan Zamora sticking with him. Goes infield to Thomas Partey, tries to lay it off to Tomiyasu, who just gets there ahead of Semenyo. Ball's at the edge of the centre circle now with Zinchenko. Lovely through ball to find Trossard, trying to flick it out to the left-hand side of the box. It's cleared away by Ouattara, but only as far as Zinchenko once again. Down the left-hand side of the box, Trossard by the left-hand corner of the area. Rolls it back 10 yards for Zinchenko. Forced wide by Rothwell, and it comes back in field now to Gabriel. Saliba just to his right. Bournemouth got everybody behind the ball in their own half of the field, but it's brought away by Jordan Zamora as Odegaard was dispossessed, but Zamora's run into a load of traffic and it's been picked off by Odegaard, running to the edge of the area. Good shot, Odegaard saved and driven back in by Saka, saved again by Neto. Still Arsenal have it. Odegaard clips it to the back post. Saka protects it with his back to goal at the edge of the area, looking for a teammate. Rolls it to the left for Zinchenko, and Neto denies Arsenal twice in a row there, Alvin Martin.
Outstanding goalkeeping. We'll need some more of that this afternoon.
Arsenal come again. Bournemouth lead by a goal to 0. 3.5 minutes gone on TalkSport 2. But they have to work it back to the centre circle because those black shirts of Bournemouth all behind the ball. Zinchenko out on the left-hand side, faced up by Adam Smith. Will come in field to Thomas Partey, back in the side today. He plays the ball along the deck to the right wing. Lovely ball to find Odegaard. Odegaard, right-hand corner of the area. He's got Tomiyasu making an overlapping run. Whips a lovely deep ball into the far post, heading up and out by Mepham. Drops on the far left-hand side for Trossard. Into the area, Martinelli for Odegaard at the edge of the area. Tries to drive, and it's claimed at the second attempt by Neto. Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 1. I'm just getting my breath back. 4.5 gone.
What a game we've got here. What a fantastic start. You know, Bournemouth taking the lead so early, but Arsenal in the last 3 or 4 minutes have played some really good, accurate, cutting edge football. That was another great move. Neto made a couple of great saves. He's made, well, 2 certainly that I would call world class at the moment. But whenever Odegaard gets the ball, he's trying to shift the ball onto that left foot and get shots away. And certainly he went in for a high-octane game, I think.
Trossard down the left-hand side for Arsenal. Down the left-hand side of the Bournemouth penalty area. He goes for the byline, hits it against Mepham. Goes out for Arsenal's first corner of the game. There's been an early goal as well at Villa Park in the Premier League. Aston Villa 0, Crystal Palace 1. Wilfried Zaha, no winning 9 for Palace, but they lead at Villa Park. And Wycombe lead at home to Exeter in League One. Chem Campbell for Wycombe, looking for their first win under new manager Matt Bloomfield. Corner to Arsenal here, Alvin, at the clock end.
Great response by the crowd, I've got to say as well. The Arsenal fans totally behind the team.
It's going to be a right-footed in-swinger for Arsenal. Trossard is going to send it into the near post, comfortably headed clear by Adam Smith. Odegaard will pick it up, level with the left-hand side of the penalty area, whips across in. Senesi gets his left boot to it and gets it half clear. Little scorpion pass up in the air from Zinchenko, but it drops for Rothwell to just whack it downfield. There was anybody near halfway for Bournemouth. Wigan 0, Birmingham City 1 in the Championship. Juninho Bacuna at the DW Stadium. That's a massive game at the bottom of the Championship. Here's Saka for Arsenal at the top of the Premier League, but 1-0 down to Bournemouth. Whips a cross in, cleared away by Jack Stevens on his 6-yard line. Tomiyasu tries to make something of it, and Bournemouth desperately trying to get it clear, but Arsenal keep coming. It's Odegaard now down the right wing, near side to us. Just checks his run now as he's level with the edge of the penalty area. Moves in field slightly. In the centre of the half is Gabriel. Urged to shoot as space opened up a little bit, but he rolled it out to the left-hand side for Zinchenko. He plays a 1-2 with Fabio Vieira. Gabriel now. Zinchenko takes over, still at the midway point of the Bournemouth half. Looking for a way to pick the pocket and pick their way through. Zinchenko rolls his foot on the ball, plays a square ball left to right to find the other fullback, Tomiyasu. Saka wants it on this near side, the right wing. 25 yards out, has to go back to Tomiyasu because that Bournemouth defence is not giving them much opportunity to get in behind them, Alvin Martin.
Well, there's a lot of movement, a lot of passing in front of Bournemouth at the moment. Looking at Martinelli, he's playing down the centre. Trossard has moved out to the left. You know, they've got a lot of movement within the Arsenal theme of play here. What they haven't been able to do is get behind Bournemouth. Saka looks the most likely, I've got to say. Whenever he gets the ball to feet, he looks like he wants to go at somebody, whereas we haven't really seen Martinelli on that left-hand side much at all.
Tomiyasu was trying to find Saka with the ball over the top then, but it was overhit. He went behind for a goal kick, and the ball boy threw a spare ball on so quickly, desperate for Bournemouth to get play restarted, but Neto merely walked casually after the ball that had gone out of play. Hadn't spotted the one that had been thrown on. So already you can hear the Arsenal fans thinking that Bournemouth are looking to time waste their way to half-time at the very least. They lead Arsenal by a goal to nil if you're just tuning in to TalkSport 2. A goal from Philip Billing in the first minute of the game. And it's with Tomiyasu. Rangers lead Kilmarnock in the Scottish Premiership. Here's Leandro Trossard. Space on the left-hand side of the area for Arsenal. It's rolled back to Fabio Vieira. Tees up Zinchenko. It's now left down the left-hand side of the box for Martinelli, who plays it against the chest of a Bournemouth player, Adam Smith. And Bournemouth can get it clear, and Solanke, giving chase, will get first to the ball on halfway, but runs into Thomas Partey, who just nudges him off the ball, using that strength we know him for.
Well, they were lucky that it was Partey really, and Solanke, in a foot race, because Partey is probably one of the greatest players in the Arsenal team.
Here's Saka for Arsenal, down the right-hand side to the byline. just skips inside his man for a moment, whips the ball into the near post, but it's a comfortable claim for Neto. 9 minutes gone on TalkSport 2. Ian Danter and Alvin Martin with you. We're still scratching our heads. Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 1.
Well, it's certainly a quick game. It started quick in terms of Bournemouth getting the goal, but they've responded really well, Arsenal. I don't think Bournemouth have been at their half since they got the goal.
They have not, although they're trying to burst over halfway now with Joe Rothwell, but Partey tidies up. Big goal for Rochdale, struggling at the bottom of League Two. They lead Stevenage. What a wobble they're having at the minute, Steve Evans Stevenage. Devante Rodney puts Rochdale in front. And here at the Emirates Stadium, Arsenal, as we've seen a lot in this opening 10 minutes, with the ball inside the Bournemouth half, just over halfway in this instance, with Zinchenko. Lovely ball threaded up to Martin Odegaard, 25 yards out, but there were black shirts all around him very quickly. Bournemouth playing in all black this afternoon, Arsenal in their traditional red and white. Ball's played up to halfway by Rothwell, but it won't find Semenyo. He's already made one start for Bournemouth since his move from Bristol City. Second start today. Here down the right hand side of the box is Trossard, feints to cross, then checks back onto his left foot, but the cross is overhit, drifts over Martinelli's head and behind for another Bournemouth goal kick. 0-1.
Yeah, I never really fancy Arsenal when they're playing the ball from wide into the box on a flight. So I don't really feel I've got anyone who's going to really attack that ball in the air. I always fancy them more when they get the ball down and they're passing it neatly inside the penalty area.
Short goal kick from Neto to Senesi, and he hits a diagonal ball out to the left hand side. It was nodded forward by Smith, but easily gobbled up by Zinchenko, and Arsenal have it back again. It's attack versus defence, despite the fact that it's the defensive side who are in front. Bournemouth defending again as Saka comes down the Arsenal right. Tomiyasu on the overlap, gets it to the byline, pulls it in near post. Not a strong cross, cleared away by Senesi, but again Arsenal retrieve the second ball. It's Tomiyasu, loses possession, right hand corner of the box. Bournemouth try and get it clear. Zamora nods it down to allow Billing, the goal scorer, to bring it clear. Good strength and good running from Billing. And was he clipped there by Thomas Partey? He was. He's gone down right on the touchline. Gary O'Neill remonstrating with our referee Chris Kavanagh that Partey deserves more than just a ticking off of that challenge. Bournemouth have a free kick right down beneath us next to the technical areas. Bournemouth lead 1-0 on TalkSport 2.
He seemed to go down belatedly, didn't he, Billing? But I think he just caught him on the back of the heel there, Partey, and I think it was rightfully a foul.
Well, whatever next. Bournemouth going ahead. 8 seconds had gone. I've just had it confirmed. It was 8 seconds on the watch when Philip Billing stroked that ball into the back of the net. And that's the way it is with 12 minutes gone. Arsenal, though, bringing the ball forward again as Bournemouth's free kick comes to nothing. Zinchenko, about 10 yards inside the Bournemouth half. Plays it infield to Gabriel. Saliba just to his right, but instead he goes back out to Zinchenko on the left-hand side. Odegaard is the most central player for Arsenal at the moment in this attack. Ball's worked back to Saliba eventually inside the centre circle. He strokes it out to this near side, the Arsenal right, first to Tomiyasu, and then across it goes from the Japanese to Saka. Now Tomiyasu has it back. Infield for Saliba, very patient from Arsenal. Clipped up to the edge of the area by Zinchenko. Brought down by Vieira as he tried to flick it across the face of goal. Neto looked like he was getting it before Senesi got in his way and very nearly created a right old pickle for Bournemouth, but they survived that and it stays 1-0 to the Cherries.
They just lost the lead. The last sort of 3 or 4 minutes, Dan, so they've just lost a little bit of zest. They were looking like they could open up Bournemouth at will. But this last sort of, 3 or 4 minutes, Bournemouth are just starting to look a little more solid.
Arsenal have it again on halfway. It's with Thomas Partey, who moves into the Bournemouth half, gets to the centre of it. Billing watching his every move. He goes slightly to the right and Odegaard. Odegaard's got runners right and left, but he goes backwards of square to Saliba. Zinchenko looking like he wants a bit of urgency as he picks up the ball. But again, Bournemouth have got everybody behind, and Gary O'Neill and his team desperate to make sure that the gaps are being plugged all the time. Tomiyasu, right hand side, level with the Bournemouth penalty area. Rolls it back 5 yards to Saka. 14 gone, Bournemouth 1-0 up, and then Billing wins the ball off Partey and tries to set Ouattara away through the middle, but it's tidied up by Gabriel, and Ramsdale, who all he's done this afternoon is pick the ball out the back of the net from that 8-second goal from Billing, clears his lines. Here's Zamora trying to work the ball forward as Bournemouth finally get some meaningful possession inside the Arsenal half, but they lead 1-0 here at the Emirates.
Just a couple of occasions they've turned the ball over quite cheaply, Arsenal, and they have looked at getting people forward there, Bournemouth. You know, they are encamped for the most part on the edge of their own penalty area, but they are picking the times to actually release people forward.
Ball into the area from Zamora, comfortable for Ramsdale. Leyton Orient lead Swindon in League 2. The leaders ahead through Omar Beckles, up from the back. And Bournemouth lead here by a goal to nil as we approach the quarter-hour mark on Game Day exclusive on TalkSport 2. It's with Tomiyasu. Out to Bukayo Saka again on this near side, the right wing for Arsenal. Zamora backpedaling as Saka gets down to the byline. Whips a strong right-footed crossing headed away by Jack Stevens, and it's retrieved on the far side, the Arsenal left by Zinchenko. Gabriel now, just to his left is Vieira. Thought about whipping across it, he said it goes out to Zinchenko on the left-hand side. Trossard just rolls his foot on the ball to keep it away from the attentions of Adam Smith. Then plays the ball back to the centre of the half. Gabriel, and then Saliba again looks for Bukayo Saka. Tomiyasu on the overlap. It's a decoy this time. Saka goes infield to Saliba. Then Partey goes back out to Saka on the right wing. He's got an overlap from Odegaard this time, uses him. Odegaard rides the challenge of Zamora, but the ricochet helped Bournemouth out, and then anywhere will do from Semenyo, and Ramsdale collects it at the edge of the centre circle. That is attack versus defence, right there. 1-0 to Bournemouth. Ian Danter and Alvin Martin with you on this Saturday afternoon as the league leaders win themselves a free kick 35 yards out for a challenge by Mepham on Trossard. Now whether somebody's going to have a go from goal from this distance, I'm not sure, Alvin Martin.
But where Trossard's trying to collect that ball there, you've got a bank of 5 at the back for Bournemouth, then you've got another bank of 4. It's in between those two banks that you've got to be brave, and you've got to find a way of somebody feeding the ball. It's hard to control it. You'll have somebody really close here, but taking responsibility on as an Arsenal player. That's what Trossard's done there, and he's got himself a foul.
You're listening to Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 1 on TalkSport 2 with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today. And Arsenal have this free kick that Odegaard is standing over. It's to the left of centre. And Bournemouth have a line at the edge of the 18-yard box, so it's a fair way out. Tossed to the far post. Headed back across by Saliba, who scored his first goal for Arsenal, a beauty against Bournemouth at the Vitality, but Bournemouth clear their lines this time. Comes back out to this near side, the right, and Saka, who was looking to find Tomiyasu down the right hand side of the box. He was caught slightly on his heels and allowed Billing to clear.
He looks, I mean, he's one of the changes, Tomiyasu. I think he hasn't played a lot of football of late. White's been playing there, and you can tell he's just not quite at it.
One of 3 changes made by Arteta this afternoon, bringing Takahiro Tomiyasu into the back 4. Ben White is amongst the substitutes. Throw in, looking for Saka. Oh, it's only half cleared by Zamora. Odegaard finds Saka inside the area to the byline, pulls it in front of goal, and it's turned behind somewhat nervously by Jack Stevens for a second Arsenal corner. 1-0 Bournemouth.
Well, both Odegaard and Saka are looking, like the most likely avenues that they're going to get Arsenal back into this game.
Well, Saka and Odegaard are standing over the corner kick on this near side to us, the right-hand side at the clock end. That shows just gone 3:15. In it comes from Bukayo Saka into the near post. Oh, Partey was right by the near post and tried to help it on its way with his back heel, but it went behind for another Arsenal corner in quick succession. 1-0 Bournemouth.
I've got to say that was good defending there by Stevens. It was tricky that it flicked up the ball, and he was strong enough to get it out, although he has conceded another corner.
Brighton 1, West Ham 0 in the Premier League. Alexis McAllister with a penalty. Corner kick for Bukayo Saka, punched away by Neto as Arsenal players were trying to fly in front of him to get a connection. Brilliantly brought down by Fabio Vieira in the centre of the half, and a delicious ball out to Bukayo Saka on this near side, the right. Comes in field to the edge of the area, tried to drive it, and it's blocked away by Bournemouth players, and it's Solanke powering his way up to halfway, and he's got Billing ahead of him. Billing into the area, Ouattara on the far side for 2-0. What a save, Ramsdale! Point blank save. It looks certain that Ouattara's going to make it 2. What a save from the keeper!
Unbelievable, unbelievable, and what a great chance for Bournemouth. That was a world-class save, world-class.
And Arsenal coming forward, Bournemouth have a man down. And a push by Senesi on Odegaard. A free kick to Arsenal 30 yards out, and it's getting a bit tetchy out there because Semenyo's been down for some time. Whilst Bournemouth were breaking down the other end, he stayed down. And now all the players are surrounding one another.
What a game!
It's end-to-end
What
stuff.
a game! It's absolutely enthralling. The break and the quality of the break from Bournemouth there was absolutely fantastic. It looked like they'd done everything right. They got Ballin away. He's down the left-hand side. He knows he's got a runner to his right. He tries to play it, and it's into the path. And Ramsdale comes from nowhere. He comes from nowhere, stretches himself, and he keeps it at 1-0. It might have been offside, I'm not sure. We won't know now, but that is a big moment for Arsenal.
Dango Ouattara did pretty much everything right. Timed his run, I think, to stay onside. Got the connection, but Ramsdale flew out to about the 6-yard line and made a sensational stop. It's all stopped at the moment because Semenyo is getting treatment. So all the Arsenal outfield players, bar, I think it's Zinchenko, oh no, it's Odegaard that's getting treatment, are taking on some water, and they're getting an impromptu coaching session right down beneath us, Alvin, from Mikel Arteta. Bournemouth lead 1-0.
Well, there's certainly a lot of talking got to be done down there, but you know, when you look at Bournemouth in this first 20 minutes, it begs the question, how on earth are they down at the bottom? Because they played with tenacity and guile. I mean, some of the passing on the break has been fantastic. The opening to the game was so positive for them, but you know, it beggars belief that they're down there, because they are a team that don't look bereft of confidence, that is for sure.
8 defeats in the last 11, remember. Semenyo's back on his feet. You're listening to Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 1 on TalkSport 2 with Now Sports. Don't forget that with Now Sports you can stream all the Sky Sports action, like Southampton versus Leicester, live today for £11.99, no contract. Search Now Sports. There will be a free kick eventually to Arsenal. Meantime, a couple of goals in the Championship. Millwall lead Norwich by 1-0. Tom Bradshaw with his 13th of the season, putting Millwall in front of the Den. And a blow here for Leandro Trossard. He's had to go off. And Emil Smith-Rowe gets a huge roar. Another academy graduate from the Arsenal youth who gets his chance, recently back from injury, and he's on to replace Trossard. That's a blow for Arsenal.
That is a blow. When we were talking about good luck and bad luck before the game, that's bad luck. You know, they've lost Trossard this early on in the game, who's comfortable playing up the middle. It'd be interesting now. Look, maybe Martinelli will play up there. Odegaard's capable of doing it as well.
Don't worry.
But certainly Smith-Rowe is somebody that can go past people with the ball, which is what they're going to need now. They've got it on this right-hand side with Saka. Smith-Rowe on the left-hand side might just offer them a little bit of something different.
Adrian Durham will still find a way to say that's worked in Arsenal's favour. So Smith-Rowe on for Trossard. We played a quarter of the game. 22 minutes gone. A free kick to Arsenal, and the way Odegaard's backpedaling from this, there's a Bournemouth wall inside the D. I think Odegaard fancies to go with goal here. Does go for goal, and Neto watches it drift wide of his left-hand post, and it'll be a Bournemouth goal kick. Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 1. Elsewhere, Derby lead Shrewsbury in League One at Pride Park. Hayden Roberts and Lincoln City elsewhere in League One lead managerless Oxford United to a Daniel Mandry penalty at Sinsel Bank. And Rotherham lead QPR in the Championship. 1-0 there at the New York Stadium. QPR no win in 12, remember, and in a wretched run of form. Gareth Ainsworth trying to work the oracle there. We're back underway. Forest Green Rovers take the lead at Accrington Stanley. Brentford Loney, Miles Peart-Harris has given Duncan Ferguson side the lead. They've not won for him yet. Forest Green at the bottom of League One. Now, top of the Premier League, Arsenal trailing to Bournemouth here by 1-0 on TalkSport 2, but still pressing. It's Zinchenko. looking for Vieira, out to the left-hand side, and it's Smith Rowe on that left-hand side, having just come on as a substitute. Infield it goes to Zinchenko, ball up to the edge of the area, is half cleared. But again, nobody on halfway for Bournemouth, so it keeps coming back at them. This time it's Fabio Vieira, lays it off for Gabriel. Vieira again, spots Saka calling for it, right-hand corner of the box, but he only finds the head of Jordan Zamora. Ball headed up in the air, and then down goes Senesi under pressure from Martinelli, and Bournemouth get themselves a free kick. Middlesbrough 1, Reading 0 in the Championship. Guess who? Chuba Akpom makes it 20 for the season. What a year he's had. And that's a penalty for Akpom as well. And Walsall 0, Barrow 1 in League 2. Billy Waters for Barrow. And it's a free kick to Bournemouth, who lead by a goal to 0. Ian Dancer and Alvin Martin with you. 25 minutes gone at the Emirates. Neto with a free kick, sends it out to the Bournemouth right, looking for Ouattara, who had that sensational chance to make it 2-0, denied by the brilliance of Aaron Ramsdale. Here come Arsenal again. What an atmosphere inside this stadium this afternoon, but it is unrelentingly positive from the Arsenal faithful, and we've seen different in the recent past, Alvin Martin.
That's right, and I think we've spoken admirably about Arsenal overcoming obstacles, put in their way before the game. They've done it all season, and the crowd are playing their part here as well.
Tomiyasu with a cross from the right. In came Emil Smith Rowe at the far post, but it was flicked away by Mepham, and Ouattara keeps it in play on the far side and plays it up to halfway. The ball bounces, but Gabriel deals with that bounce and allows Arsenal to keep possession with Solanke pressurising him, and a roar goes up again as Arsenal move the ball back into the Bournemouth half. Gary O'Neill frantically gesticulating down beneath us to our right hand side, begging his Bournemouth players to keep their shape as Saliba has possession, finds Thomas Partey just ahead of the centre circle, centre of the half, plays it out left first to Zinchenko, and then Smith Rowe takes over. Martinelli was making a run down the left-hand side of the box, but they've not used him. Now it's with Smith Rowe approaching the left-hand corner of the area, tucks the ball infield to Partey, out to the left-hand side for Zinchenko, tries to whip across in deflection on it, headed half clear by Stevens, and it'll drop for Zamora in the left-back position, being pressurised by Saka. Can't get it clear that far, only as far as Tomiyasu gives it back to Saka. Now Odegaard near the right-hand corner of the penalty area, tucks it infield for Partey, tries to give it back to his man, but Billing, the goal scorer, intercepts, and now Joe Rothwell tries to bring the ball forward, and then backheels the ball into trouble, picked off by Tomiyasu. Saka down the right, plays the ball infield to Odegaard. Odegaard 30 yards out, tried to roll it into Smith Rowe. It was good defending coming back by Ouattara, but it's still with Arsenal. Odegaard 30 yards out to the left wing. Emil Smith Rowe up against Adam Smith. Right-footed ball in, headed away at the near post by Mepham. It's incessant pressure from Arsenal. Gabriel this time, looking for Tomiyasu. This time Saka's quite narrow, so he goes back 10 yards or so for Saliba. Back out to Tomiyasu, up to the right-hand corner of the box, an attempted flick in field by Martinelli, but Bournemouth deal with it. But Solanke can't hold on to the ball. It's now picked up by Fabio Vieira, running to the edge of the area, gets through 2 challenges, can't get through a 4th, and Bournemouth scramble it desperately clear.
As you said, incessant pressure. I could just about hear myself speak, but I've got to say, in the last 15 minutes, Neto hasn't had to make a save. That's credit to the people in front of him.
28 minutes gone on Talk Sport 2. Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 1. That goal for Palace was chalked off by VAR. I know that because Villa have just taken the lead. Joaquin Anderson at Villa Park. Villa 1, Palace 0. It's Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 1 as we approach the half hour on Talk Sport 2. It's with Zinchenko. Infield to Gabriel Martinelli, left-hand corner of the box. Now Smith Rowe takes over. Flicks it down the left-hand side of the box for Zinchenko. Attempted cross. Blocked up in the air by Mepham. It doesn't go out for a corner. Adam Smith tries to head it clear. But again, Arsenal are first to everything when Bournemouth try and get it out of harm's way.
That's what they do better now than that they have in the past. They don't just rely on decent football, they put the other team under pressure and try and win it high up there.
Saka finds Fabio Vieira at the edge of the D. Odegaard gets a shot away from the edge of the area, deflects off 2 Bournemouth players, and anywhere will do from Jordan Tamura, just hoops it up to the halfway line. But again, Arsenal have it back. 29 gone.
I've got to say, the atmosphere is brilliant, Dan. It really is.
Well, I hope it's coming across to you wherever you're listening to TalkSport 2 this afternoon. They are roaring their team on to try and get an equaliser here. It's Zinchenko, left-hand side of the penalty area, gets to the dead ball line, pulls it into the near post, and Mepham puts it behind for Arsenal's 4th corner of the half. Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 1. And so Smith Rowe and Odegaard look to be the players masterminding this corner kick. At the clock end, left wing corner for Arsenal. A clutch of Arsenal players around the penalty spot. Bit of man-to-man and zonal from Bournemouth for this corner kick. It's played short. And it's with Smith Rowe. Lays it back to Zinchenko at the edge of the area towards the left-hand corner. He clips a lovely cross in, headed up in the air by Tomiyasu, but a comfortable claim underneath his own crossbar by Neto. Half an hour gone on TalkSport 2. It remains, amazingly, Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 1.
Well, the response to conceding a really early goal from Arsenal has been brilliant, as you would expect. But I've got to say as well, the response of Bournemouth, because I think they would have been as surprised as anyone taking the lead so early. You know, their follow-up, if you like, from scoring that opening goal has been absolutely brilliant as well. They're working so hard.
Rochdale, bottom of League 2, have a second against Stevenage. No one in 9 for Dale, but Danny Lloyd's got their second. Major wobble for Stevenage, who got their first one in 7 last time out. And they're still second in League 2. Arsenal, top of the Premier League. But the gap, as it stands, stays at 2 points to Manchester City, who won earlier over on TalkSport 2-0 against Newcastle United. Arsenal trailing here to Bournemouth. Here's Partey out to the left hand side. It's back to halfway and Gabriel. Newport lead at Salford in League 2. Harry Charsley. Now here's Odegaard for Arsenal. Out to the right hand side and Bukayo Saka. Faced up by Zamora. Odegaard on the overlap. Gets to the byline. Another corner for Arsenal. They're 5th of the half at the clock end. 1-0 Bournemouth.
Well, it's incredible, really. I mean, it's gone so fast. You know, this first, 35, 36 minutes, I don't know, but it's breathless.
Corner kick taken short by Saka to Odegaard. Running along the touchline, clips the ball into the near post and headed up and over by Gabriel Martinelli. So it is, and don't unclog your ears, you are hearing right, it's currently Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 1. And for the latest odds, head to 888 Sport. That's the official betting partner of TalkSport 2's Premier League coverage, where right now you can still get Arsenal to win at odds on 8 to 15. Bournemouth, if you fancy them to hold out, 9 to 2. The draw is 3 to 1. That's all thanks to 888 Sport. Made to challenge, made to debate, made to play. 18 plus, and the website you need is begambleaware.org. AFC Wimbledon 1, Mansfield 1. A couple of quick goals at Plough Lane, and Riley Harbottle equalises for Mansfield. And Coventry have gone ahead at Huddersfield. Victor Gyökeres with his 16th of the season, putting the Sky Blues ahead against Neil Warnock's strugglers. Here at the Emirates, 32 minutes gone.
A third of the game gone, and I think, you know, they would have had it in maybe thirds. Can we keep it 0-0 for the first 30 minutes? They're 1-0 up. Head of schedule.
Ian Danter and Alvin Martin on commentary. Here's Odegaard siding forward for Arsenal to the edge of the area, plays it left for Smith Rowe. It's only half cleared by Bournemouth. Zinchenko will get onto the loose pass. Forward comes Tomiyasu on the right hand side, fed by Saliba. Lovely whipped in cross, headed up in the air by Smith at the far post. Can Bournemouth clear their lines? Plays for a handball by a Bournemouth player. Chris Kavanagh unmoved. And now Ramsdale's picking it up inside the centre circle.
See, Odegaard felt there was a case there, certainly to be answered, but will be looked at.
Yeah, VAR will take a check, I'm quite sure. Just a high ball into the area where up went Chris Mepham. I think it hit his shoulder, didn't it, Alvin?
Yeah, well, it might have touched his arm, but I don't think it was intentional.
Ipswich 1, Burton 0 meantime in League 1. Connor Chaplin for the Tractor Boys, 4 unbeaten, looking for a 3rd straight win. And VAR is checking for that possible penalty. Our VAR today is John Brooks, back at Stockley Park, and checks over, no pen, on we go. Which is pretty much what we expected.
Yeah, I don't know why it takes so long. You know, you've only got to watch that once, haven't you?
The Bournemouth goal has been confirmed. Actually, it's 9.11 seconds, the second fastest in Premier League history. No, I'm quick at a lot of things, but 9 seconds is pretty staggering. So that's the difference between the two sides, amazingly, with just over 10 minutes to half-time on TalkSport 2.
I think Saka on this right-hand side looked a real threat, you know, for the first 25 minutes. But, you know, gradually they've got to terms with that. And, I think Zamora is getting tighter. He's not really gone past him as he did early on. I just wonder if him getting on top in that battle is just taking the sting out of the game from their point of view. Well, it doesn't take the sting out of the game because the atmosphere is unbelievable.
It is.
But, they're not working the goalkeeper as much as I'm sure Arteta would like.
Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 1. Gabriel holds off the challenge of Solanke, plays it at it. Smith Rowe, left-hand side. They're approaching the penalty area again. Martinelli helps it down the left-hand side of the box. Smith Rowe stays on side, hits the ball against Mepham, and it goes out for a throw over on that far side next to those Bournemouth fans who are probably still in disbelief that their side are ahead here with 10 to the break. Delaying the throw as well. In it comes for Gabriel, who works it back for Saliba. Just out of the centre circle. Tumultuous noise at the Emirates. Saka now picks it up against Jordan Zamora. He's got Semenyo for company as well. And in actual fact, Semenyo got his foot in, rebounded off Saka, and out for a Bournemouth throw.
Yeah, I think he's just getting on top in that duel. That one-on-one, it's an important one as well. But having said that, Saka's a player that will just keep going and going.
Rothwell dispossessed by Fabio Vieira, but he runs into Zamora, who's done really well in recent minutes. As you were just mentioning, Alvin Martin, Jordan Zamora in that left-back position. It's definitely a 5. It's not 3-5-2 today, is it?
No.
It's 5-5-0.
He's certainly animated in the technical area below us, isn't he, Arteta? I've got to say, Gary O'Neill looks pretty calm.
Well, here is Dominic Solanke breaking away down the left-hand side, level with the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. Tomiyasu staying with him. He's trying to flick it in field. Does he want to throw? He has Solanke. Tomiyasu thought it was his. It's been given as a Bournemouth throw. And they're going to take their time over this. Oh, they're going to wind the Arsenal locals up with every set piece. And that's what any team would do if they're coming to the league leaders and they're in the bottom 3 and they find themselves a goal up. They're not going to rush a thing. And Neto has the ball at his feet, the Bournemouth keeper, just ahead of his own penalty area. Clears out to the right-hand side. Adam Smith heads it infield. Might bounce for Ouattara here, and he heads it on to Solanke, who heads it into his path. Goes down to see the edge of the area. No, good defending Saliba. Just kept it away from him. That was another half chance for Bournemouth to get a shot on goal there.
And again, it was like they scored from the first 9 seconds. It was a ball played out to the Zinchenko. He was beaten in the air. And Solanke nearly in.
But here's Saka at the other end. Right-hand side for Arsenal, faced up by Zamora. Near the dead ball line. Plays it into the area for Odegaard. Odegaard thought about a shot. Clips it to the far post for Smith Rowe. He tees it up for Zinchenko. Deflection and out for a corner kick. Here at the Emirates Stadium.
That could have gone anywhere. Absolutely anywhere. They might need a slice of luck today, and that's one little bit that they've had there, Bournemouth.
Sutton Hill Crew 1 in League 2. Daniel Aguier with a goal. Here comes the corner from Arsenal. Headed out to the edge of the area. Picked up by Zinchenko. Calmly keeps hold of the ball. Finds Bukayo Saka. Now Odegaard level with the edge of the area. Back in field to Zinchenko. He's going to go for goal here. He hits it against Zamora, and it drifts out to the left-hand side by a ricochet to Emil Smith Rowe. Zinchenko now picks it up just ahead of the D, rolls it to the right-hand corner of the box, and Bukayo Saka. Saka just lays it off to Odegaard, making room for a left-footed shot, blocked at source by Zamora, there again to block. Comes out again to the right wing, and Bukayo Saka. Semenyo is there for company, played into the area, little round the corner pass from Partey, doesn't come off for Saka, deflects into the area. Billing trying to keep hold of the ball and get it clear, and he will get it clear, floats it up to halfway. And that's brilliant defending by William Saliba to keep it away from Solanke. 1-0 Bournemouth, 39 gone.
They just can't get on the ball. It's Arsenal.
Here they are again with Odegaard. Right hand corner of the box, Saka inside, across the 6-yard line, running in with Smith Rowe, but what a challenge! Chris Mepham just stuck out a leg and stopped Emil Smith Rowe getting possession. Vital defending from Bournemouth to preserve their lead.
Well, they're turning up the pressure, Arsenal. They're getting into good areas. They're really stretching this defence. All of it, right the way out the pitch. You've got another player gone down here on this left-hand side, but it's been breathtaking. The pace of the game has been absolutely relentless.
They should all be sitting down. They all need a rest, but it's Zamora who's down, and he's just speaking to Chris Kavanagh to see whether the physios can be allowed on. The referee's helping him up. Meanwhile, Millwall 1, Norwich 1. Jakob Sorensen. Don't forget, we've got live rugby union straight after this commentary from Twickenham. Harlequins against Exeter Chiefs. Andrew McKenna and the former England centre Tom May will be your commentary team for that game at HQ. 1-0 to Arsenal. What am I saying? 1-0 to Bournemouth. See, there's force of habit for you. 9 seconds has been confirmed as the goal time for Philip Billing. But Arsenal have just been pressing ever since. And here's Tomiyasu down the right-hand side of the area. Oh, dreadful! He had the ball at his feet at the dead ball line, tried to pull it back, and he just toe-poked it behind for a Bournemouth goal kick. 1-0 to the Cherries. They've got less than 5 minutes plus added time to try and hold out to the break, Alvin Martin.
Yeah, poor mistake there in a really good area as well. But I've got to say, you've got to give credit to Bournemouth. We can talk about Arsenal and their reaction, dominating the game. They haven't let their heads drop, which you wouldn't expect. But Odegaard, he's had, I don't know how many shots he's had, and they've been blocked. Same with Saka. Every time they pull the trigger, there's a Bournemouth leg there who's sticking it out and just his body on the line. It's been, an unbelievable performance defensively and attacking-wise from Arsenal.
4 to the break. Arsenal coming forward again with Saka. Has he won another corner? The assistant on this near side says he has, off Jordan Zamora. Ipswich 2, Burton 0. Nathan Broadhead for the Tractor Boys, doubling their lead. 1-0 to Bournemouth. I need a drink. A stiff one. It's sent in short to Fabio Vieira at the edge of the area. Rolls it across to Smith Rowe. His shot's deflected up in the air. Head tennis on the 6-yard line. Driven goalwards by Martinelli. Desperate header clear. And can Neto prevent the corner? He can. And he'll gratefully clutch hold of the ball. Well, he wants to hit it downfield, but there's nobody downfield for Bournemouth.
Is it one of them days as well, Dan, where there's balls bouncing down, ricocheting. They could go anywhere, but at the moment you just feel it's going to fall right for Bournemouth. Having said that, have they earned the right to have a little bit of luck? Of course they have.
Zamora keeps the ball in possession. Oh, he runs infield and gives it straight to Thomas Partey. Oh, a long leg stuck out by Philip Billing to stop Odegaard getting forward. Superb challenge from the man whose goal still separates the sides. Sunderland 0, Stoke 1. Could be a great return for Alex Neil to the Stadium of Light. Josh Lawrence gives the Potters the lead, and Luton leads Swansea by a goal to 0 at Kenilworth Road. Another goal for Carlton Morris, his 14th of the season for the Hatters. 2.5 to the break on TalkSport 2. Game day exclusive. Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 1. Partey striding forward for the Gunners. Plays it left to Smith Rowe in the centre circle. Zinchenko scampering forward on his left hand side outside of him. It's fed to the Ukrainian. Smith is going with him. Goes infield to Thomas Partey. Partey across to Bukayo Saka. Right hand corner of the box. Feints to cross with his left. Drags it onto his right along the 6-yard line. It's half cleared and then fully cleared by Ouattara, who just put his left foot through it. Hook back towards goal. Oh, poor touch! And now suddenly Solanke's away. Across comes Gabriel to close him down. Ouattara's in the box, but this time Solanke's cross doesn't find its target. But once again, from nothing, Bournemouth suddenly had a half chance to add to their lead.
Well, Solanke really, he's got to go in on goal there. I don't know what he's looking to pass the ball for, Dan. It's a good job Arsenal got pace at the back, and then they're going to need every yard of it.
Heading towards half-time. Bournemouth leading. Can they hold that lead through to the break? Arsenal are asking so many questions of them. Saka down the right-hand side of the box for Odegaard, who hits it against Senesi and wins an 8th corner of the half for Arsenal. They're going to take it short again, are they? Because Odegaard and Saka are lurking at the clock end for a right wing corner.
I don't know what the possession is. It must be about 95%.
I'll take a look in a minute and I might surprise you. In it comes from Saka into the near post, headed out by Joe Rothwell, who got the vital touch. Let me see, stats, 87% possession.
Unbelievable.
For Arsenal.
But you know what? The 13% that they've had,
Saka with a cross into the near post, headed up by Billing. Cleared away by Semenyo, only halfway. Tomiyasu goes down, no foul. Senesi went in to win it back. And they've cleared it up to halfway. 30 seconds of normal time to go. Arsenal desperate to get an equaliser before the whistle. It's Martinelli, centre of the half, wins a free kick. Little nibble on him by Joe Rothwell.
Not being able to get the ball, has he, Martinelli? He's very rarely been on the ball. It's Saka on this right hand side. Smith throws out a lot of the ball. Odegaard, we've seen a lot of him. We've not really seen anything of Martinelli.
Ipswich 3, Burton 0. Freddie Ladapo gets the third for Ipswich. Hartlepool, struggling Hartlepool. Lead at Tranmere in League 2. Callum Cook. Accrington Stanley equalise against Forest Green, who are down to 10 men. Forest Green, about Oliver Casey sent off. And it's 1-1 at the Wham Stadium. And 2 minutes of added time is what we're into now, at the end of this first half. Right old mother's meeting around the ball between 5 Arsenal players to decide whether they're going to go direct for goal. Odegaard is the man favourite. Gabriel's there chatting away. Parties now there. Zinchenko. And now it's just the Ukrainian and Odegaard who have stood over it, although Parties actually come back to show a bit of interest.
Probably a yard further out than he would want. If that was a yard further in, I think he'd really fancy Odegaard.
It's dead centre as well, isn't it, pretty much? Maybe slightly to the right of centre. So in added time, big moment in the game. Free kick for Arsenal. They've set up a wall to the left as we look from Bournemouth's wall, which is just inside the 18-yard box. Partey runs over the ball. Odegaard strikes it left-footed and it goes over the bar. Out of play for a goal kick to Neto, who will take an eternity, I'm sure, to get it back into play. 1-0 Bournemouth.
We've seen everything, haven't we? We've seen, one of the fastest goals in Premier League history for Bournemouth. One of the saves of the season, I think, from Ramsgate. That's certainly up there from what I can see.
Neto has the ball on the 6-yard line and will drive it downfield. You could throw a blanket over all the outfield players either side of the halfway line. Very, very tight and congested as Ouattara heads the ball in field. Senesi just hits an up and under that we'll be hearing a few of at Twickenham at 5 o'clock with Macca and Tom May when Harlequins play Exeter in our Guinness Premiership rugby commentary here on TalkSport 2. Solanke barges into Gabriel. Free kick. Middlesbrough 2, Reading 0. Aaron Ramsey with a second for Borough right on half-time. And here come Arsenal right on half-time, looking for an equaliser. Martinelli being held up by Rothwell. Passes along the halfway line to his left. And Gabriel moves into the Bournemouth half. Lots of movement either side of him. Martinelli was making a run. Saka's the target. Brings the ball down right-hand corner of the box. Keeps it away from Zamora. Tomiyasu on the overlap. He'll use him. Tomiyasu doesn't cross first time. Being held up by Zamora. Back to Saka again, right-hand corner. First time crossing, flicked away by Billing. And Smith can't prevent the corner. Arsenal will have just enough time to take this 9th corner of the half to try and equalise at the whistle.
Bournemouth just got to concentrate. They've got to concentrate. They've worked so hard. They've been second best in terms of possession, but not second best in the game.
Rangers 3 up against Kilmarnock. Short corner from Arsenal. Rolled into Zinchenko. Odegaard calling for it, left-hand corner of the box. He's got it now. Smith goes out to engage. Goes back into the area. Martinelli drives it into the side netting at the near post. It'll be a goal kick, and I imagine that will be that for the first half on TalkSport 2.
Phew! I didn't rest myself.
And indeed, there it is. A half-time whistle in a most extraordinary half of football. And what an incredible start. Arsenal, knowing that Manchester City, breathing down their necks, conceded after 9.1 seconds. Bournemouth had the kick-off, came downfield, a ball across the face of goal that everybody in a red and white shirt missed. Tucked away by Philip Billing for the second fastest Premier League goal in history. Arsenal then had 86% possession for the rest of the half. Couldn't make it count, and indeed The best chance of the game after the Bournemouth goal came to Bournemouth on a rare counter-attack where a ball was sent across the face of goal by Billing. Ouattara thought he'd scored a second, but an incredible save flying out to the edge of his 6-yard box by Aaron Ramsdale denied Ouattara. And despite the fact that Arsenal forced 9 corners and countless goal-scoring opportunities, they haven't found the back of the net. What a second half in store here on TalkSport 2. You stay on this frequency. Half-time score, Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 1.
Get that guy something on the rocks. Ian Danter, my thanks. The action unrelenting. The atmosphere absolutely outstanding in North London. Live sport, live football can deliver moments like we've seen here in North London this afternoon in the Premier League. Simply outstanding. Some noise as the action got started at the Emirates. Bournemouth took 9 seconds to stun all, though, Alvin Martin. Honestly, I almost fell off my chair. Philip Billing couldn't miss. We questioned Bournemouth's boldness out of the traps. Wow.
Well, it was from the kick-off. They just went, bang, we're going to get at you. And they played a short ball on the centre circle, played it out to the right wing. All of a sudden, they're getting at Zinchenko, who's a great player going forward, but I still worry about him as an out-and-out left-back. You know, he gives them far too much space. They put a ball in, and then Billing is actually in a position where he's beyond Solanke, and they score. We were all dumbfounded, but from that moment on, Dan, this whole stadium erupted, and I've got to say, the atmosphere is the best Arsenal atmosphere I've ever experienced.
Billing's first goal of 2023, officially timed at 9 seconds. The fastest in Premier League history belongs to Shane Long, who scored after 7.69 seconds for Southampton against Watford back in April 2019. So we weren't far off at all. Before we talk Arsenal offensively, and they're almost 90% possession.
No, you know, you can't make a mistake like Ben Johnson did, you know, misjudge the ball, and it's cost them. Clumsy from Jarrod Bowen. Look, chances are going to be few and far between for West Ham. It's going to come on the counter. At the minute, Brighton are completely dominating the ball. They've got a goal to the good. What can they do in the second half, West Ham? It's an uphill task.
Yeah, West Ham away wins this season, a bit like seeing Halley's Comet. Done that very often. Brighton 1, West Ham 0. Let's get half-time at Villa Park with TalkSport's Jeff Peters.
It's Aston Villa 1, Crystal Palace 0. Villa ahead after 27 minutes. McGinn with a clever pass down the right. Cash raced forward. His cross was destined for Ollie Watkins, but Joachim Andersen got there first, got in a tangle and bundled the ball past Guaita for an ugly own goal. They should have got a second on the stroke of half-time. Buendia with a delicious ball into Watkins, who was one-on-one in the box, but he couldn't score for a 6th successive game, grazing the outside of the post. A bad miss. Palace thought they'd taken an early lead. Wilfred Zaha's strike was chalked off by VAR for a tight offside. Good finish from Zaha, but timed his run a fraction early. The stats tell us no shots on target. Half-time, Villa 1, Palace 0.
Still playing at Molineux, where it's goalless between Wolves and Spurs. 8 minutes added on there. So let's get half-time in the Championship at Bloomfield Road. TalkSport, Steve Hothersall.
Blackpool 0, Burnley 0. Two sides at opposite ends of the table, but Blackpool have contained the Burnley threat with some stoic defending in numbers. As expected, Vincent Kompany's side dominating the ball and making gains on the wings with Teller and Zaroury, but clear chances are few and far between. Goodmunson also almost made the breakthrough, but Chris Maxwell's fine save denied him. Vincent Kompany has lost one of his big players to injury. Josh Brownhill hobbled off with his left leg for concern. Scott Twines replaced him. Burnley, well, they've had to hang on for late winners of late, and it could be the same today. Blackpool 0, Burnley 0.
Half-time at the Riverside on TalkSport, Graham Courtney.
Middlesbrough 2, Reading 0. It could have been a hat-trick, really could, for the Borough players. Several of them out there look really good. That's how dominant they've been. But in the 24th minute, well, Aaron Ramsey, he's weaved his way into the Reading 18-yard area. Seemed to actually just sort of chip the ball at Andy Yadon, the Reading centre-half, and the ball struck him on the arm. Ref pointed straight to the spot, and it was hammered home by Chuba Akpom. That's 20 for the season. They've had a goal disallowed. Chuba Akpom's hit the post. So that's, talk about one-way traffic. It's just about being like that. So no surprise. Stroke at half-time. Counter-attack by the Borough. Ramsey again involved. He's run from inside his own half. Drawn the keeper. Finished superbly. That's his first goal since arriving here in January. The Borough are cruising. Middlesbrough 2, Reading 0.
Half-time at the Den. TalkSport's Alex Biddle.
It's Millwall 1, Norwich City 1. Tom Bradshaw put the host ahead on 21 minutes, evading Grant Hanley's slide tackle with a delicate flick before going one-on-one with Norwich keeper Angus Gunn, firing into the roof of the net. The Canaries fired back, though. That was Jacob Sorensen levelling things up not long after. He found the ball at his feet, 12 yards out. He slotted coolly past George Long to the left. Both sides came into this one, Adrian, unbeaten in their last 4 league outings, and it's clear to see why. Both solid defensively, both look a threat going forward. And get this, here's one for you, Adrian. The FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, is sat just a few seats to my right. He'll have enjoyed this one so far. At half-time at the Den, it's Millwall 1, Norwich City 1.
I'm sorry, what? Let's get half-time in the Premier League at Molineux. It's just finished there. Trevor Sinclair and Adam Bridge.
Yeah, as Wolves 0, Spurs 0. Somehow, I don't know how Spurs haven't scored in that opening 45 minutes, really. 45 minutes disrupted by what looks like a serious knee injury to Diego Costa and a nose injury to Max Kilman. Kilman continued. Costa was substituted. In between all that, Son and Kulusevski forced good saves from Jose Sarri, who's kept 5 clean sheets here at Molineux. You can see well as how he's done that, because he's been in fine form. Son free kick into the penalty area. Coming round the back was Perisic as well, with a lovely diving header, and again Sarr turned that round at the near post. He could do nothing when Pedro Porro hit a free kick from the edge of the penalty area, left hand side of the D. He curled that one against the crossbar, and that's the closest Spurs have come to opening the scoring in the opening 45 minutes. Nothing really to offer from Wolves up the other end, apart from a Nunes shot which nearly got turned home early on by Costa, but in the end was comfortably saved by Fraser Forster. Trevor Sinclair, Wolves have got to sort themselves out. They've been fairly wretched in the opening 45 minutes, but for this Spurs side, it's surely just a matter of time, isn't it?
Well, it was before the stoppages. I think that certainly helped this Wolves side, because before that it was wave after wave of attacks from Spurs, and they looked like they were carving them open every attack they made. Since then, because it's been stop-start, I think Wolves have started to compete a little bit more. A little bit of ill discipline by Neves, give the free kick, which Porro hit superbly off the crossbar. I think Sarr was beaten for that, but apart from that, that was the only chance since the stoppages that Spurs have been able to create. So it has served Wolves quite well, these stoppages. Let's see how the second half starts.
We know Spurs like their goals in the second half. Half-time here at Molineux, it's Wolves 0, Spurs 0.
All the half-times are coming up. Let's go to Kenilworth Road. Whistle's gone there, Dave Rowe.
Luton 1, Swansea 0. Playoff chasing Luton have been the better team by a distance. Always appeared the delivery of Alfie Doughty could prove key. He made chances for Adebayo, headed over, and Morris, who had an effort, saved. Morris then clipped the bar from a Clark corner, and Fulton cleared off the line. The goal came on 39 from that Doughty set up. He drove the ball across the 6-yard box, and keeper Fisher could only parry into the path of Morris, who duly put the Hatters ahead. Swansea have been poor. A Kundal shot easily saved by Horvath, and Joe Aaron has limped off, with Morgan Whittaker coming on. At the break, Luton 1, Swansea 0.
Half-time at Vicarage Road as well. Lawrence Mora.
Yeah, Watford 0, Preston 0. The home side boot off at the break here at Vicarage Road. It was a really poor quality half of football, although the visitors will be the happier team. Their tenacity, discipline and intensity has stopped the Hornets playing. It's frustrated them and forced mistake after mistake. And there's also been a lot of free kicks, which has meant we've had no real tempo to the game. Watford 0, Preston 0.
League One then. What's happened in the first 45 at Hillsborough, Alan Biggs?
Well, it's Sheffield Wednesday 0, Peterborough 0, which is about right. It's been a bitty first half, disjointed. Posh won't mind though. They've also needled the Hillsborough crowd a bit, disrupting the flow, and they certainly won't mind about that either. Indeed, visitors time wasting here where they can is what you have to expect when a team hasn't lost at home in 17 games. It's a routine occurrence here. It's one for Sheffield Wednesday, really. The onus is on them to do something about it. Only the one alarm for Peterborough when Josh Windass hit the bar. Posh shared a goalless draw at Charlton in the week. They're halfway to another. It's Sheffield Wednesday 0, Peterborough 0.
This is Game Day. Half-time classifieds.
In the Premier League, full-time earlier on TalkSport, it finished Man City 2, Newcastle 0. Half-times, Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 1, Aston Villa 1, Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 1, West Ham 0, Chelsea 0, Leeds 0, Wolves 0, Spurs 0, Southampton Leicester's at 5:30. In the Championship, 2 results: Blackburn 1, Sheffield United 0, and Cardiff 2, Bristol City 0. These are half times now. Blackpool 0, Burnley 0, Huddersfield 0, Coventry 1, Luton 1, Swansea 0, Middlesbrough 2, Reading 0, Millwall 1, Norwich 1, Rotherham 1, QPR 0, Sunderland 0, Stoke 1, Watford 0, Preston 0, Wigan 0, Birmingham 1. In League 1, a result: Morecambe 0, Bolton 0. Half times now: Accrington 1, Forest Green 1, Bristol Rovers 0, Barnsley 0, Cambridge 0, Portsmouth 0, Cheltenham 0, Fleetwood 0, Derby 2, Shrewsbury 0, Ipswich 3, Burton 0, Lincoln 1, Oxford United 0, Plymouth 0, Charlton 0, Port Vale 1, MK Dons 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Peterborough 0, Wycombe 1, Exeter 0. In League 2, AFC Wimbledon 1, Mansfield 1, Bradford 0, Colchester 0, Carlisle 2, Grimsby 0, Harrogate 0, Gillingham 0, Leyton Orient 1, Swindon 0, Northampton 0, Crawley 0, Rochdale 2, Stevenage 0, Salford 1, Newport 1, Stockport 0, Doncaster 0, Sutton United 0, Crewe 1, Tranmere 0, Hartlepool 1, Walsall 0, Barrow 1. National League, Aldershot 1, Torquay 1, Bromley 1, Notts County 0, Dagenham and Redbridge 1, York City 1, Dorking 0, Halifax 0, Gateshead 1, Chesterfield 1, Oldham 0, Boreham Wood 0, Scunthorpe 0, Eastleigh 1, Solihull Moors 1, Maidstone 0, Wealdstone 2, Altrincham 0, Yeovil 0, Woking 1, and Maidenhead against Wrexham is at 5:20. Scottish Premiership, Hearts 1, St Johnstone 0, Livingston 1, Hibs 2, Rangers 3, Kilmarnock 0, Ross County 0, Motherwell 0, and Dundee United Aberdeen is at 6. Scottish Championship, Ayr United 1, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 1, Cove Rangers 0, Dundee 1, Partick 1, Raith Rovers 0, Queen's Park 2, Morton 0. Scottish League 1, Dunfermline 1, Alloa 0, Falkirk 0, Peterhead 0, Kelty Hearts 0, FC Edinburgh 1, Montrose 2, Clyde 0, Queen of the South 2, Airdrie 0. Scottish League 2, Annan Athletic 1, Stenhousemuir 1, East Fife 1, Forfar 1, Elgin 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 0, Stirling 2, Albion 2, Stranraer 0, Dumbarton 1.
Game Day Live on Talk Sport with Car Finance 24/7. Get your finance sorted first, then choose your car. Search Car Finance 24/7 today.
Only 2 weeks till the Cheltenham Festival, and when you bet fair during the build-up, you get so much more to build your roar. So build your multiples, like doubles, trebles, and lucky 15s, to build your odds. Build your multiple, build the roar! Get a £10 free bet when you bet £10 worth of multiples today. Betfair.
Opt-in required. Free bet valid for 48 hours and racing multiples only. Min combined odds 2.0. Max 1 per day. Exclusions and T's and C's apply. 18 plus begambleaware.org.
Game Day Live on Talk Sport with Now Sports. Stream all the Sky Sports action.
You could have actually played even, a more creative player, a midfielder on the right-hand side to give Saka some support. But certainly Saka started to lose that battle at the end of the first half, the last 15-20 minutes. And that's something that they've got to put right, Arsenal. And you've got to get more service soon.
The Continental Women's League Cup final live here on TalkSport 2 tomorrow afternoon from 3. Arsenal taking on Chelsea in that one. Monday night on TalkSport, live and exclusive from the G-Tech Community Stadium. Brentford take on Fulham. Build up from 6 with your host Adrian Durham. Commentary with Joe Shannon and Danny Murphy from 8 in West London. Arsenal out, we wait for Bournemouth. A Bournemouth side upsetting the script at this moment in time. Manchester City success earlier this afternoon on TalkSport. The gap between them and Arsenal currently at 2 points, with the side still to play this season. Ben White thrown on by Arteta. Arteta's side chasing an equaliser and more in North London. The atmosphere, Alvin, is spine-tingling.
Well,
it's awesome to be here.
I think when you're at Arsenal this season, you've earned the right to get the support of the supporters when you need it.
Yeah.
They haven't had to call on it too often, have they? But I think the supporters here realise after 9 seconds going a goal down, we've got to stay with this team. We've got to help them.
Huge 45 minutes ahead. Will it prove a season-defining 45 minutes ahead? Live and exclusive here on Game Day exclusive on TalkSport 2. Let's bring you the second half with former Wigan defender Ivan Martin alongside our match commentator Ian Danter.
Bournemouth players back out as well in their all-black away strip. They have never kept a clean sheet against Arsenal, Bournemouth. They're 45 minutes away from doing that. They have beaten them in the Premier League before, but only at the Vitality. They've never won here at Emirates Stadium. We're back underway on TalkSport 2. Arsenal in the red and white shirts, white shorts, red socks, attacking the North Bank to our left. Bournemouth in that all-black away strip, attacking the clock end to our right, and their supporters in that corner of the clock end, scarcely believing what they witnessed in that first half of football. I'll run you through the lineups in a minute, but there is just the one change in the break, and you heard us discussing it. Ben White is on for Tomiyasu in a half-time switch for Mikel Arteta.
I think they've changed that as well, Dan. So it looks like they're going to do a back three, and they're going to push Saka really as a right wing back, is Zinchenko on this left-hand side, and just get everybody forward really. They've got Martinelli playing up the middle, and they've got to try and make that work.
So it is Ramsdale in goal, White, Saliba, Gabriel at the back. I'll break off for a minute because Bournemouth are coming forward. Not going to start the second half the way they started the first, are they? No, Semenyo runs into Thomas Partey and the ball goes out for a throw. So White, Saliba and Gabriel at the back, Saka and Zinchenko wide, Odegaard, Partey and Vieira, Martinelli and Smith Rowe make up the rest of the Arsenal lineup. For Bournemouth, Neto the keeper, Smith, Stevens, Mepham, Senesi, Zamora in a back five, Ouattara, Rothwell, Billing, Semenyo across midfield, Solanke up front. Plymouth take an early lead at the start of the second half in League One against Charlton. Ryan Hardy gets the goal, that's his 12th of the season in League One for the Pilgrims, as that promotion race hots up. Earlier today, Sheffield United lost at Blackburn in the Championship. You heard it live and exclusive here on TalkSport 2. Whilst Newcastle lost 2-0 to Manchester City, we've narrowed the gap to Arsenal to 2 points, and that's why there's a desperation here for Arsenal to get themselves level as early as they can and then push on and try and win. It's with Zinchenko for Arsenal on this left-hand side as they attack the North Bank. Smith Rowe up against Adam Smith, has to roll it back in field to Gabriel. Arsenal chance roll around the stadium as Saliba looks for White, and now Saka almost level with the Bournemouth penalty area, right hand side, support on that far side. It's rolled back in field by Odegaard and then across to Gabriel. He looks to the right hand side, brought down by Ben White, faced up by Samura. Saka now finds Partey almost at the right hand corner of the penalty area. Bournemouth just defending their own 18-yard box. It comes out to the centre of the half, and Saliba gets it back from Martinelli, who couldn't plot a way through. Now White again, right hand side for Arsenal, tucks it down the right hand side of the box. Odegaard across the face of goal, Stevens tucks it behind. Arsenal start the second half with a corner. They trail by a goal to nil. 3 gone in the second half. Middlesbrough have a third at home to Reading. Chuba Akpom gets his second of the afternoon. Corner swung into the near post, headed out by Solanke at the near post for Bournemouth. Comes back to Saka, and now Odegaard again, who took the original corner. Zinchenko down the right hand side of the box, tries to plot a pass through to Saka, and he's crossing the near post, blocked behind for another corner. The corners keep on coming for Arsenal, and they take it short. Odegaard picks it up short from Zinchenko, whips the ball into the far post, and they all let it drift behind. Bournemouth players got a shout from their keeper, leave it, and it bounces behind for a goal kick to the Cherries.
What's making it more difficult for Arsenal, Dan, is that when they do eventually break down an attack, and it might be 5 minutes between each attack, they get the ball there, Bournemouth, they do try and release people forward, and it makes them a little bit nervous, Arsenal, at the back, because they know this Bournemouth side aren't just defending a 1-goal lead, they are looking at the right time to try and get a second, so they've got to be a little bit careful, Arsenal.
Yeah, there's a bit of jeopardy out there for Arsenal, particularly the longer the game goes on at this scoreline, which is, in case you're just tuning in, Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 1. Still got it right this time. 49 minutes gone at the Emirates Stadium. Salford go 2-1 upon Newport. Conor McElhenney puts the Ammies in front of the Peninsula. And here come Arsenal. I've said that a lot this afternoon as we approach the 50-minute mark. Over halfway it goes. Ben White picks it up on the far side of the field from us. Lovely ball to Martinelli, just inside the area, right-hand side. Everything to his left at the moment. Now he turns and sends it back out to the right wing, and Ben White. White with a cross, comfortable claim. In front of goal by Neto. No Arsenal player who are near getting ahead on that.
Well, we're in a lovely position here, high up, just on the left-hand side of the halfway line. And when you look down at Bournemouth, they've just got a bank of a line of 5 black shirts. They're wearing black today, Bournemouth, and then another line of 4 with Sri Lanka probably coming into that as well. So it is 2 lines of 5. Somehow Arsenal have got to get a ball in between them 2 lines with a player turned. He's got to be turned and facing the goal, and then they're in position where they can play that ball that's going to cut through.
Saliba takes over for Arsenal as they win it back again, just inside the Bournemouth half. Ben White on the right-hand side has got Saka showing for him down the line. Saka looking to take on Jordan Zamora. Just chinking at the moment, gives it back to Ben White near the right-hand corner of the box. It's worked back in field to William Saliba. White again now has it. Back to Saka on the right wing again. One-on-one with Zamora. Plays it back to Odegaard. Gets it on his left, and the drive is well clutched in front of his goal line by Neto.
And he had to hold on to that. They were following that one in. And I think this is a game as well where they don't care how they score. They don't care if it looks good. They just need a goal, don't they, somewhere, Arsenal? And I guarantee if they do get a goal, the roof will come off this place. It'll come off, and then you never know what's going to happen. But certainly, in the next 10 minutes, if it did happen, you wouldn't back against Arsenal going on to win the game, Dan.
Alvin Martin alongside me, Ian Danter. I bet the roof's come off at Stamford Bridge because Wesley Fofana has just given Chelsea the lead against Leeds United. That's 1-0 to Graham Potter's men. Derby 2, Shrewsbury 1. Shrewsbury get a goal back through Tom Bayliss. Middlesbrough 4. Reading 0, Aaron Ramsey with the ball. Here come Arsenal again. White to the byline. Wins a corner off Zamora this time, does he? No, it's given us a goal kick. It came off White last of all. They're desperate
within a
for
blink of an eye. Ball into the area for Matoma is cleared for a corner. From the corner, first flick on at the front edge of the 6-yard box from McAllister. What on earth Paqueta is doing? Goodness only standing there watching. And then at the far post, Veltman is completely unmarked to chest it in from 3 yards out. There is the West Ham defender within 2 yards. David Connolly. That is pathetic. Premier League
they're trying to make the referee aware of it. But look, you've got to give credit to Bournemouth again. I think he's made one save, hasn't he? We've just seen him Neto, not a difficult one. But again, they're protecting him so well. It's incredible when you think how good this Arsenal side are. You've got to say as well, the biggest problem for Arsenal is not having that centre forward that they can play off. They'll get the ball into, get runners off him. They haven't been able to do that.
Free kick to Bournemouth, about 10 yards inside the Arsenal half. And it's Mepham standing over it. Pretty much everything to his left. He's going to float it up to the edge of the area. The heads go up, headed out to the Arsenal right. And Saka rides the challenge and releases Martinelli down the right-hand side. He's in a race with Zamora. Chops inside Zamora for a moment, who holds him up. Still in the area. Martinelli goes for goal and lifts it over the crossbar, and it ends up merely being a goal kick to Bournemouth. Stays 1-0 to the Cherries on TalkSport 2. Breathless stuff again.
He chose the wrong option. Martinelli's making a lot of ground up to get the ball. Saka, once he cuts inside, Odegaard is making a run on the edge of the box. And he's also got an option to Vieira at the far post.
Yeah, as well. They were all in there, weren't they?
Poor decision there.
Neto with the goal kick for Bournemouth. 53 minutes gone on TalkSport 2. Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 1. You have to go back to the 9th second when Bournemouth took the lead. Stand up for the Arsenal is the chant, and lots of people get out of their chairs all around this 3-tiered stadium, making one hell of a racket to try and urge their team on. Bournemouth lose possession inside the Arsenal half, and Martinelli is being asked to go after a loose ball. Oh, Neto comes right out to the middle of his half. He had to make that, and he did in the nick of time, only with the slightest of touches, but enough to divert it away from Martinelli.
We're talking about inches, aren't we? If you get to touch of that before him, Martinelli's through one-on-one. Well, he's through on goal without a goalkeeper.
Ouattara is obstructed by Partey. That seems a harsh free kick to me, because I think Ouattara knew the ball was gone and just ran into Partey, but he's won the free kick for Bournemouth.
See, Medvedev has just turned around and give the thumbs up to Neto, because he knows that Neto was far enough out of his goal to certainly feel vulnerable himself, the goalkeeper. But it was a big decision and he got it right.
Bournemouth's possession's gone up 1% to 15. They've got a free kick on this near touchline as they attack the clock end, and it's going to be Joe Rothwell to take it. It's only about 2 yards in from this near touchline, about 25 yards from the byline. Sent in by Rothwell. Good delivery. Just over the head of Semenyo. Almost stuck to the far post for Stevens. He couldn't collect it. It's gone out of play for a corner kick. Bournemouth's first of the game off an Arsenal leg at the far post. That was a scary moment for the Gunners at the back there.
When you get delivery that good, right on the money, I don't care who you are, it causes a problem. And he possibly maybe could have attacked it a bit better, Bournemouth, but great delivery.
And the boos ring around the stadium as Rothwell taking his time to stride over to that corner in front of the adoring Bournemouth fans. You can't hear their applause for the boos from everywhere else inside the ground, because he's taken his time. 11 minutes gone in the second half. Bournemouth lead, remember, by a goal to nil, and they have a corner. Right-footed in, swinger to come from Rothwell. And it goes to the near post. It's in! It's 2-0! Senesi! Oh my goodness! Arsenal's title challenge is suffering a huge blip here. The corner kick swung in by Rothwell, and Marcos Senesi headed in at the near post. Joy in that far corner for the Bournemouth fans, but the rest of the Emirates is stunned. Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 2.
Well, they got a warning. Because Rothwell delivered a fantastic ball in from a free kick. He goes over to the corner, takes his time, and does exactly the same from the corner. And you've got to say the delivery is absolutely spot on again. He attacks it really well, and it's a great header. They've got nobody on the post, Arsenal. I can't believe what's happening here.
Remember, they've never won at the Emirates. 8 defeats in their last 11. And now Marcos Senesi, with what is only his second Premier League goal, scored against Newcastle last month, and unbelievably, with, remember, 15-16% of possession, Bournemouth lead 2-0 at the Emirates on TalkSport 2.
Dance also had in a world-class save from Ramsdale in the first half. They could have had 3 or 4 goals.
Amazing stuff. What a performance. And Gary O'Neill is getting one over on Mikel Arteta. 2 former Premier League midfielders. And it's 2-0 to the Cherries. Yes, you heard me right. It's 2-0 to Stoke as well at Sunderland. Great return for Alex Neil. Tyrese Campbell doubles their lead at the Stadium of Light, and Cheltenham get the lead against Fleetwood in League One through Alfie May at the completely Suzuki. It's completely nuts here. Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 2.
I can't remember a shock anywhere near this level this season. Maybe I can't remember a shock like this for a long time.
But there's half an hour plus to play on TalkSport 2, and you just know it's going to be attack versus defence from this point on. Odegaard for Arsenal, right hand corner of the box. Saka there with him, so too Ben White. Gives it back to Odegaard inside the area. Tries to get the shot away, but Rothwell gets a foot in. And Rothwell, with 2 quality deliveries, had Arsenal on the back foot in those last couple of minutes. First that free kick, and then the corner. But now he's got to be back doing his defensive duties. Ball's at the edge of the area with Martinelli. Across to the left-hand side, and Zinchenko pulls it back to Fabio Vieira at the edge of the box. His shot is straight at Senesi, who scored the second. And there's Ramsdale again, just shy of the halfway line. At this rate, Ramsdale will be going up for corners with 20 minutes to play. Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 2. But still the Arsenal fans encourage their team forward, sensing that there is something to be got from this game. Smith Rowe now picks up the ball midway point of the half. Goes backwards to square to Saliba. Now Odegaard trying to scheme something from the centre of the Bournemouth half, running across the line right to left, plays it out to the left wing, and Zinchenko can get into the box left hand side, drives it across, almost came for Vieira, but there were Bournemouth players back there to ricochet it away.
Well, they're lifting again, but like, you know, the balls that are being played in, I don't like it when they loft them in Arsenal. I like it when they whipped in like Zinchenko did there. You know, that's more, I think, beneficial.
Saka goes down under minimal pressure from Zamora, howls for a spot kick, nothing doing, says Chris Kavanagh. One back by Martinelli for Arsenal. Here's Smith Rowe looking for Zinchenko, left hand corner of the box. Arsenal 2-0 down and getting increasingly desperate. Zinchenko drives for the byline, can't get the cross in, sends it back for Fabio Vieira, and then Martinelli. Vieira, good cross but a comfortable claim on his 6-yard line for Neto. Stays 2-0 to Bournemouth on the hour.
Well, it's no good actually feeding in substandard balls, because I think what Bournemouth have proved to us this afternoon in the first hour is that they're here, they're well organised, and they're up for this, and you're going to have to create real quality if you're going to undo this lot.
Alvin Martin alongside me, Ian Danta. You're listening to Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 2 on TalkSport 2 with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today. Arsenal have it again with Fabio Vieira, plays the ball in field to the centre of the Bournemouth half, but then Partey has the ball taken off his toe by Solanke, who now has the ball given back to him and will launch a counter-attack as best he can for Bournemouth. Tries to slide it into the path of Ouattara down the right-hand side, but he was never going to get there. Come to be won back by Saliba. Huddersfield 0, Coventry 3. Gustavo Hamer and then Victor Gyökeres for the second of the day. 3-0 for Cov and 3-0 for Stoke Sunderland. Here's Saka for Arsenal into the area, almost diverted into his own goal by Jack Stevens, but in the end it goes behind for what is merely an Arsenal corner.
That was an untidy clearance. I didn't know where it was. He was on his weaker left foot, and he's really lucky to get away with that.
I'll take you back, Alvin.
I don't think I ever scored one like that. Oh,
went
dear.
Just over the crossbar from Jack Stevens. Saka will have the corner at the clock end. Left-footed in swinger from the right-hand side. In it comes from Saka, right to the crossbar, punched in the air by one fist of Neto. Goes to the far post. They've got one back. It's Thomas Partey. They thought they'd clear their lines, Bournemouth, but the ball sent back into the box, and it dropped to the far post for Thomas Partey, who lashed it in from close range. They've halved the deficit and doubled the noise inside Emirates Stadium. Arsenal 1, Bournemouth 2.
Smith Rowe does really well here, Dance. He puts the header into an area that he knows somebody should be. Partey arrives right on cue, and now we've got a real game. Now we've got questions that are going to be asked of Bournemouth. They've had the answers up to now, but listen to this.
Less than half an hour to go. We can't restart yet because Neto's got cramp apparently. And there's a heated conversation between Arteta and Fabio Vieira. Real coaching instruction from Arteta for the Portuguese midfielder. Partey gets the goal to halve the deficit. That's his third Premier League goal of the season. And only now is Neto getting back to his feet, and he's getting a yellow card for time wasting. Well, Brazilian goalkeeper testing the patience of referee Chris Kavanagh a little too much. And meanwhile, a double change. Jadon Anthony is coming on for Jordan Zamora, and Ryan Fredericks is also coming on. So we won't restart for a while yet. Fredericks on for Zamora. Wigan equalise against Birmingham in that big game at the bottom. Ashley Fletcher on the hour makes it Wigan 1, Birmingham 1. And it's Arsenal 1, Bournemouth 2. Can you hear me, Mother? It's quite loud here this afternoon. Arsenal desperate to get back on terms, but here come Bournemouth. Joe Rothwell approaching the right-hand corner of the box, floats it in for Solanke. drives it into the near post. What a save again by the feet of Ramsdale. And Arsenal
football was unbelievable. The standing of that move there was unbelievable, wasn't it? A lovely dink ball through. He gets it on his chest, gets a shot away, and it's a really good save again by Ramsdale.
Ouattara floats it across from right to left to pick out Fredericks. Semenyo, the other player that went off, as well as Zamora for Bournemouth. Now Billing down the left-hand side of the box, trying to protect the ball. He's thinking about winning a corner, I think, but he runs away. Gives the ball back to Senesi. Fredericks back for Billing. Now it's Arsenal back defending in their own defensive third. Into the centre circle for Chris Mepham. Out to the right and Adam Smith. Back to halfway for Mepham. Mepham lofts the ball up looking for Ouattara. Right hand side of the box, but it's well dummied by Zinchenko. Oh, he couldn't keep it from staying in play. Ouattara whips it into the box, but he couldn't find Solanke. Arsenal have it back.
I really do feel, that Bournemouth have come here and had a game plan and been brilliant. I think they really do see Zinchenko as a left back as somebody they can get some joy from on this right hand side to them.
Here come Arsenal again, 2-1 down, but piling forward with Smith Rowe. Vieira just gets the ball taken off his toe by Joe Rothwell, but then it's not cleared properly by Ouattara. Comes back to Zinchenko. Almost at the left-hand corner of the box, down the left-hand side for Smith Rowe, keeps it in play, pulls it back, an attempted scorpion kick. Inside the area by Martinelli, it doesn't come off. Now Odegaard, left-hand corner of the area, rides the challenge of Smith, finds Partey, midway point of the half. Zinchenko to the edge of the D, ball tucked round the corner by Odegaard. Can Saki keep it in? No, he can't. Goes out of play for a goal kick. What a game at the Emirates.
Wow, the passing there in that move was so sharp. Odegaard, it was stuck to his toe like glue, and it was getting pinged around in really tight areas. They kept possession so well, and he just couldn't get the final ball into Saka. It looked like it just going to be whipped in. He was going to be able to get a left foot around it, but he couldn't. But what a game. What a game.
It's currently Arsenal 1, Bournemouth 2. And for the latest odds, head to 888 Sport, the official betting partner of TalkSport 2's Premier League coverage, where right now, Arsenal to win, their odds against now, but 12-5. Bournemouth, do you fancy them to hang on at 2-1 up, 11-8? The draw, 13-8. That's all thanks to 888 Sport, made to challenge, made to debate, made to play, 18+, begambleaware.org. You missed none of the action because there's another Bournemouth player down injured getting some treatment inside the penalty area. I think it's Senesi, and that prompts another coaching session on this near touchline for Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, it looks like Nelson's going to be coming on as well for Arsenal.
Reece Nelson's not had a lot of football for Arsenal. Senesi only just getting to his feet. Nelson just getting some final instructions down beneath us. Interesting to see who he comes on for, Alvin. Whether it's for a midfielder, whether it's for a defender even. 2 goals in 2 Premier League appearances this season for Reece Nelson. Both goals coming off the bench in a 5-0 win against Nottingham Forest back in October. And the change has been made. I didn't see who came off. Smith Rowe. Yeah. So the sub has been subbed. Remember, Smith Rowe came on for an injured Trossard in the first half. Now he's gone off, and Reece Nelson is on for the final quarter of the game. Still Arsenal 1, Bournemouth 2 on TalkSport 2. Live rugby union to come at 5 o'clock. We'll be straight off to Twickenham in southwest London for Harlequins against Exeter Chiefs in the Premiership. But plenty more to come here first. Nelson gets his first touch, playing out on the left at the moment. Finds the ball in field to Thomas Partey. Rides a couple of challenges, still has it. Edge of the area. Nelson down the left-hand side of the box, across the face of goal. Driven in by White. Did that go over the line? Yes, it did. It's 2-2. Ben White gets Arsenal level. Title challenge back on. What a game at the Emirates. Neto couldn't keep it out. It was down the left-hand side of the box. Nelson played it across. White coming in at the far stick, fired in on the volley, and Neto couldn't stop it from going over the line. It's all square at the Emirates. What a game! 2-2.
Incredible. Nelson straight away has an impact. It's a really good ball to the far post. I've got to say, White does really well for a defender. Keeps it down, hits the target, and they are now 2-2. Surely only one way this game's going to go now.
Well, that's his first of the season, Ben White. Could he have scored a more vital goal at any point of his professional career? Change for Bournemouth. Rothwell has gone off and Lewis Cook is on. Penny for the thoughts of both managers right now. Bournemouth were 2-0 up. And not exactly cruising, but they were still 2-0 up. And now it's all square at the Emirates. And we've got 20 minutes to go. Deafening inside the Emirates. Here come Arsenal again. Giving it away though. Chance for a rare Bournemouth break. Actually, it's 4-on-3 at the minute. And then Solanke is challenged by Partey. And then Gabriel sticks a foot in. The counter-attack is repelled. And here come Arsenal. Vieira's got space inside the Bournemouth half. Clips the ball into the area. Headed half clear by Stevens. Hacked away by Senesi, who's looking tired. The Argentinian centre-half goes out of play. Throw into Arsenal on halfway. Alvin Martin.
Best game I've seen for a long time. Absolutely brilliant.
Brighton 3-0 up on West Ham. Kaoru Mitoma gets the third at the Amex. Saka for Arsenal. Out on the far right-hand side. Still time for a winner. Still time for loads more. Here on TalkSport 2. 19 minutes to go. The Emirates faithful roaring their team on. It's with Thomas Partey. Diagonal ball, picks out the area, he couldn't control it inside the area. Ball was really fizzed at him, he just couldn't control it. Hurry clearance by Bournemouth, comes back to Gabriel Martinelli. Flick down the left-hand side for Nelson. Down the left-hand side of the box, into the area. Cleared away. Only as far as Gabriel, out to the left wing for Reece Nelson. Nelson, left-hand corner of the box, he's got two Bournemouth defenders facing him. Finds Zinchenko. Just jockeying for a bit of space from Adam Smith. Rolls it back to Vieira. Nelson, back to the centre of the half. And Thomas Partey. Now to his right, striding forward is Saliba. Into the area. Lovely skill, Saka. Pulls it back. Only finds Jack Stevens. Saka again. Off the post by Jack Stevens. And Bournemouth survive as Saka hit the ball against the Bournemouth number 3. It came off Stevens, off the upright, and Bournemouth smuggled it away. 2-2.
Claims for handball as well in there for Saka. Really, he needs to do more of that. He's got the beat of the full-back over that side now. He needs to get on the ball.
Ipswich 4, Burton 0. Connor Chaplin. Sunderland 1, Stoke 4, Dwight Gale. Derby 2, Shrewsbury 2. Luke Leahy for Shrewsbury equalises at Pride Park. It's 2-2 here as well. And we've got 17 minutes of normal time to play at a breathless Emirates Stadium. Live on TalkSport 2. Exclusive on game day. Arsenal desperate for a winner to keep that 5-point gap to Manchester City, who won earlier today. Here's Zinchenko, centre of the Bournemouth half. Plays it to his right for Odegaard, trying to make room for a shot up to the edge of the area. Vieira just couldn't turn away from an opponent. Ouattara brings it away for Bournemouth. He's got Jadon Anthony calling for it, but he was fouled as he tried to release it, and it ends up being a free kick as Rotherham get a second against QPR. Jordan Hugill with a penalty against a QPR side who are going to be no win in 13. 2-0 to the Millers at the bottom of the championship. Free kick to Bournemouth. Now, what does Gary O'Neill do here, Alvin Martin, at this point?
Look, I think he's just got to keep his hands in the car at all times and enjoy the ride. Well,
this roller coaster ride has had some incredible dips already. and there may be a scare or two to come yet. Arsenal hit the ball long downfield. Martinelli's onto it in a flash, trying to get past Stevens. Martinelli over the top. And a go from 10 yards out. He was running out of room towards the right-hand side of the area. He still got his shot away, but lifted it over the crossbar. Alvin Martin sank back into the back of his seat. You all right, mate?
He knew he had the legs. He knew he had the pace to be able to get into position there, but it's on his weaker right foot, and he can't keep the ball down. Oh, what a fabulous game, though, Dan. What a fabulous game. Really
20 shots for Arsenal to Bournemouth's 4, and it's 2 apiece. 15 minutes to go on TalkSport 2. Ball's lobbed downfield, but there's no Arsenal player within 10 yards of it, and so Mepham can turn and fire it high into the sky. Drops on halfway, well headed on by Ouattara, but tidied up by a combination. Oh, it was tidied up initially, but then Ouattara won it back, only for Thomas Partey to step in and win it back for Arsenal, showing all the tenacity that the Arsenal fans love about him. Good ball out to Bukayo Saka, right wing. White making an overlap, but Saka goes on, hits the ball in, headed away by Stevens at the near post, but Partey will get to the loose ball. Odegaard now, out to Saka on the right wing, gives it back to Ben White, who got the first goal for Arsenal, the second goal rather, the equaliser as part of this extraordinary comeback, after Partey got the first. Up to the edge of the area, chance for Bournemouth to clear their lines, and it's with Dango Ouattara, who's got Zinchenko backpedaling, but now Odegaard comes back to win the ball back, showing desire to help his teammates out. Loose pass from Partey, almost picked off by Ouattara. Middlesbrough 5, Reading 0. A penalty from Marcus Forss. Horrible day for Reading in a week where they may get a points deduction in the EFL. Bukayo Saka for Arsenal. Back for Ben White, 25 yards out. Rolls into the centre of the half for Thomas Partey. 2-2. Now Saliba rolls it back into Bukayo Saka's path. Down the right side of the box, Martinelli tries to play it across. Another corner as Stevens came across and sent it behind. I think that's corner number 13 for Arsenal. 2-2.
Well, I don't know what you think, Dan, but I would back against this finishing 2-2. But you know what? Arsenal might well score. But Bournemouth, credit to them, whenever they get the ball and it's turned over, they're looking to score as well.
Short corner from Saka to Odegaard, coming in towards the area, rolls it back to the edge of the box. Vieira urged to shoot, lifts it high over the bar, plays for a corner kick but half-hearted. Lifted it way over the bar. He was leaning back all the time.
Absolutely.
Goal kick. 2-2, and you're listening to an incredible game between Arsenal and Bournemouth on TalkSport 2 with Now Sports. Don't forget that with Now Sports you can stream all the Sky Sports action, like Southampton against Leicester, live today for £11.99, no contract. Search Now Sports. And as it stands, Arsenal's lead against Man City is just 3 points with the same number of games played. Bournemouth will be level on points with Leeds, but the wrong side of the dotted line on goal difference. 22 points they would be on, or given away by Arsenal. And away goes Jadon Anthony down the left-hand side. Solanke calling for it in the middle. Crosses blocked at the near post by Saliba. And Arsenal repel and bring it clear. Big chance for Bournemouth there, but hang on, here come the Gunners streaming forward. Vieira releases Nelson down the left-hand side of the area. Martinelli waiting in the centre. Nelson tees it up for Odegaard, takes it on his chest and fires it wide off a deflection by Senesi. Another corner kick to Arsenal. 2-2.
I thought we were going to see 3-2 there. Odegaard did everything right. He got it down on his chest. He got it on the volley. You know he's capable of doing that, but it's a great block by Nestor. They are now on this left-hand side looking pretty good, aren't they? Nelson's corner made a major impact.
Corner kick at the clock at the North Bank end for Arsenal, over on the far side, the right. And the referee just wanting a word with a couple of players, so the assistant standing in front of Odegaard. Just having a handball. Well, there's the VAR. Well, there's no VAR signal that we're getting here on our monitors, but they are checking. That will come up on our jumbotron at the moment, so they're just waiting whilst Chris Kavanagh chats with Gabriel and with Thomas Partey. Check over, corner will be taken at 2-2. Odegaard with a left-footed in-swinger to come. In it comes onto the 6-yard line, headed towards goal by Gabriel, trying to get a second touch on it, and it bounced through to Neto again, claims for a penalty. Nothing doing. Stays 2-2. Sunderland 1, Stoke City 5 at the Stadium of Light. Dwight Gale with a second. Alex Neil will be loving that. Not so much Tony Mowbray. AFC London 1, Mansfield 3. Davis Keeler done for the Stags. 2-2 here at Emirates Stadium with 10 to go on TalkSport 2. Bournemouth hanging on. It's going to be a desperate last 10 minutes. But as Alvin Martin's been saying, if Bournemouth win the ball in certain parts of the pitch with Arsenal streaming forward, they can still create. Now, there's a checking for a potential handball by Philip Billing from that chance from Gabriel when he was close in on goal. He's protecting his face with his arms. I'm not sure that's deliberate handball, Alvin Martin, but VAR's taking a look.
Is it dangerous play, or I don't think it is.
It's play on.
But obviously Arsenal are desperate for anything now. Any little advantage, they're going to actually put pressure on the referee.
They've got a throw in right hand side Arsenal, midway point of the half. Odegaard plays it back towards the halfway line. It drops for Gabriel at the edge of the centre circle. Finds Fabio Vieira. He just tucks it back for Zinchenko. Lovely ball, all intended for Nelson, well intercepted by Adam Smith. And Bournemouth win it back. Smith will clear his lines, but it goes out of play for a throw. Mikel Arteta was claiming that throw the moment it left Smith's boot. Down on this near touchline. Here comes a change for Bournemouth, and Dango Ouattara, who had that incredible chance to put Bournemouth 2-0 up inside the first half, he's coming off, and Ryan Christie is coming on to replace him with what? 8.5 minutes to go, plus added time. 2-2. Wow. Partey for Arsenal. Out to the right hand side, and Saka. White making a great overlapping run. It's a bit of a decoy for Saka at the moment as he jinks in field from Jadon Anthony. Finds Odegaard, right hand side of the box, jinking towards the byline, looking to get a cross in, being watched all the way by Ryan Fredericks. Still got it, Odegaard, still at the byline, plays it in field to White, lofts it to the near post, but straight into the grateful arms of Neto. 2-2.
I don't think he was the right person at the right time there, was he, White? But great footwork by Odegaard. You know, the ball sticks to him like glue, and he's in little confined spaces. You know, instantly what's around him. He's a great player.
Northampton 1, Crawley 0 in League 2. Jack Sowerby for the Cobblers. 2-2 here at the Emirates. 8 minutes to go. Arsenal coming forward with Martinelli. Rides a challenge in the centre circle. Just to his left, Fabio Vieira. Nelson showing from down the left-hand side of the box. Here he is now, Reece Nelson. Plays the ball right-footed back to Zinchenko at the left-hand corner of the area. Back for Nelson once again. Right-footed ball whipped into the box. It's only half cleared. In comes Thomas Partey, and Saka tried to get a left-footed effort. Toe pokes it wide. Saka for a goal kick to Bournemouth. Stays 2 apiece. And Neto takes his time once again. And the boos ring around the stadium.
Yeah, I think Saka though, Dan, so I think he'll be disappointed with that. The ball there fortunately drops for him on his left foot, and he doesn't really get a good contact on it.
Here comes the change, and Granit Xhaka is being brought on for these last few minutes for Fabio Vieira. Well, they love him here now. You might remember that Crystal Palace game when he was substituted and was booed. My, how he's worked his way back into the Arsenal fans' affections. And he's been thrown on by Mikel Arteta to try and orchestrate a winner. 6.5 to go. TalkSport 2 at the Emirates. 2-2 between Arsenal and Bournemouth. A reminder that Bournemouth were 2-0 up. They scored in 9 seconds through Philip Billing. Double their lead just before the hour through Senesi. Before goals from Partey and White have levelled matters. We'll be off to Twickenham for Harlequins against Exeter Chiefs straight after this game on TalkSport 2 with Andrew McKenna and Tom May on commentary at HQ. Meanwhile, it's the game day phone-in over on TalkSport with Jamie O'Hara and Gabby Bonahor at 5:30. I'm sure Arsenal and Bournemouth fans will want to wax lyrical about this game, no matter what the result turns out to be. 03717 223344. And a loose pass from Gabriel Martinelli there presents Bournemouth with a throw right in front of Gary O'Neill's technical area. 2-2.
I said it in the first half, how on earth are Bournemouth where they are in the Premier League? Incredible, really. You know, they've come here and they haven't, look, the majority has been a rearguard action. Don't get me wrong, Arsenal, you know, dominated in that respect. But the way they've played, the Italians in the game plan, and trying to cause Arsenal problems, and they've caused them problems. You know, Ramsdale's probably made more saves in this game than I've seen him make for a long time.
That's Alvin Martin alongside with Ian Danton as Chris Medford goes in hard for a challenge on halfway. Took out two men, one of them was his own teammate, Marco Senesi, also took out Martinelli. And Medford's going to get a yellow card for that challenge as he limps away, and Arsenal get a free kick just by the centre circle. 2-2.
Yeah, easy one for the referee, wasn't it? But that clock is ticking a lot quicker now for Arteta than it is for Gary O'Neill. I think both of them, you know, they're so desperate. You know, they expect to win this game, Arsenal. But what a point would do for Bournemouth, Dan.
As I say, it would bring them level with Leeds. They'd still be in the bottom three, but they'd be level on points with Leeds on 22, but with a far inferior goal difference.
You take this performance into the Liverpool game, which is even more important. You know, the morale.
Absolutely.
The morale effect. Oh.
Yeah. Liverpool next to the Vitality, live on TalkSport next Saturday lunchtime as part of game day with Reshman in the team. Here comes Thomas Partey for Arsenal at 2-2. Out to the right wing, 4 minutes to go. White finds Saka at the edge of the area, trying to make room for a shot. Spins onto his right, tries to drive, and it's deflected wide for corner number 15 for Arsenal. 2-2. I mean, I've never stood next to Concord when it was taken off, but it's got to be louder than that in this side of this stadium. Here comes the corner. Saka sends it into the 6-yard line. Up goes Solanke with a defensive header up in the air. Drops left-hand side of the box. Nelson having to run outside the area to keep possession. Finds Martinelli. Back infield to Zinchenko. Back 25 yards out. To his right is Odegaard. Onto his left and drives it over. Wants a corner. Doesn't get it. Goal kick. 2-2. TalkSport 2. Whatever next.
Well, you know, he's got time to hit that on his left foot there. What is he, 20 yards out? You expect him to at least hit the target there, Odegaard. You know, with his left foot, the quality he's got.
Wolves 1, Spurs 0. And Molineux, Adama Traore with 8 minutes to go. 2-2 here with 3 to go. Plus added time. And don't forget, when TalkSport Breakfast comes back Monday morning, we can pick the bones out of it all a little bit more with Laura Woods and Ali McCoy's reunited Monday morning from 6 on TalkSport Breakfast. Or if music's more your thing, there's Chris Evans on Virgin from 6:30 every weekday morning. 2-2, 2.5 minutes to go, and Bournemouth have possession, and Adam Smith, brave header as he was clattered into by Reece Nelson, and referee Kavanagh gives that as a free kick to Bournemouth. Bang on halfway, and Mikel Arteta wheels away in frustration down beneath us.
Yeah, it's a challenge really that Nelson shouldn't have to make there. You know, on the halfway line, all he's done is give Bournemouth an opportunity now to disrupt the flow of the game, take their time, waste a bit more time.
Plymouth 2, Charlton 0 in League One. Niall Ennis sets the seal on 3 points for the Pilgrims. Free kick for Bournemouth, sent up to the edge of the area. Jadon Anthony fighting for possession with Ben White, who volleys it downfield. But the ball will drift out of play for a throw on halfway. Senesi wasn't interested in keeping it in. He could have done, but he just let the ball drift out of play. And he wants nothing to do with the throw in. And so Saka lobs the ball back to Ryan Fredericks. A minute and a half of normal time to go, plus whatever Chris Kavanagh's going to add on for stoppages. And whatever it is, it won't be enough for most of the fans inside this stadium if it stays like this. 2-2 the score. Christie lobs it forward for Bournemouth. He's barely had a kick since coming on as a substitute. Arsenal clear. Up to halfway. Xhaka trying to send it through the middle for Nelson. It does make its way through to Nelson, but he has to check his run to get it back. Xhaka, left-hand side of the area. Plays it in, and it's Christie who puts it out towards halfway. It's retrieved by Gabriel. Now Thomas Partey plays it to his right for William Saliba. Saliba to the right hand side and Ben White. Odegaard cuts in field, 25 yards out. He's then closed down by Lewis Cook. Out to White on the right hand side. The cross deflected behind for a corner kick of Fredericks. I wouldn't be surprised if Ramsdale comes up for this. 2-2.
I've lost count of how many times they've got the ball into the box. They must have done it 50, 60 times, Arsenal.
Left-footed in, swinging corner at the North Bank end from Saka. Rolls it to Zinchenko in space at the edge of the area. Tries to get away from Smith, who closed him down. Still with Zinchenko. Has to run outside the area. Support now from the right-hand side. Odegaard. 6 minutes of added time that we just moved into now. Arsenal send it into the box and out comes Neto to bravely hold on to it. Goodness me. That was 6 minutes. Well, that's not prompted as many boos as I suspected, but there is another Bournemouth player down. Adam Smith is down. He's getting booed. He wants treatment. The referee's going to take a look. Meanwhile, Brighton have walloped West Ham. Brighton 4, West Ham 0. Sorry, Alvin. Danny Welbeck with the fourth for the Seagulls. Now, is Adam Smith injured? Or is he trying to wind up everybody inside the Emirates? Been told to get to his feet. And we're going to have more than 6 minutes. Well, you're all nothing out, you're all nothing in this commentary game, Alvin, but I've never known a game like this.
No, it's been incredible. Entertaining, dramatic, you know, astounding really. Some of the football has been great as well, and it's a fabulous story, isn't it?
Bournemouth still hanging on for a point. They had all three early in the second half. Christie thought he'd want to throw. A minute of the 6 added on has gone here on TalkSport 2. Arsenal 2, Bournemouth 2. Partey drives toward the halfway line, plays it to his right for Saliba. Again the chant of Arsenal. Arsenal goes up round the Emirates as White is released down the right hand side. First time cross into the box, headed out by Mepham. Drops for Odegaard, 25 yards out. Played it back as a square, but Zinchenko has to run back towards the halfway line to retrieve it. Can Bournemouth hang on? Can Arsenal find a winner? Here is Odegaard finding Bukayo Saka. Faced up by Fredericks, goes into the centre of the half and finds Partey. To his left is Gabriel. Sends it out to this near side, the left wing, and Reece Nelson. Nelson up against Smith, puts the cross in. Oh, great block at the near post by Philip Billing. And then anywhere will do. Downfield for Bournemouth. And it was Ryan Christie that sent it downfield. But here come Arsenal again. 2 minutes of added time gone. Odegaard at 2-2. Plays the ball across to Zinchenko, inside left channel. Out to the left wing and Nelson. Level with the edge of the area. Cuts in field on his right. Zinchenko, first time ball beyond everybody to the far post. And Jadon Anthony, first on the scene for Bournemouth. Takes his time and meshes the ball down the left hand side, asking Solanke to give chase. He did. But he's given away a throw, has he? No, it's been given to Bournemouth in actual fact. I think it was Partey that had the final touch. Alvin Martin, 2-2.
Well, I think it was Solanke really. He just enters his teammate a little break there, and you know what, they need one, don't they? I've got to say, if you're looking at a team working for their manager, that's what we've seen today for Bournemouth. Unbelievable. Not one of them hasn't given anything less than 110%. They've been brilliant in that respect.
Ramsdale with a rare touch inside his own penalty area. Bradford looked to want it against Colchester in stoppage time with Andy Cook, top scorer in League 2. 2-2 here at the Emirates. Deep in added time, 3 to play. Down the right hand side of the box, Saka across the face of goal. Vital foot in Jack Stevens, but it comes out to Zinchenko. Left hand corner of the box, Reece Nelson in support. Nelson plays it back to the centre of the half. Partey, options left and right. Plays it out to the left hand side and Zinchenko. He tosses the ball into the box. Headed out by Senesi this time. Gabriel picks it up. Zinchenko to his left is the option. Zinchenko thought about a first time cross. 10 yards from the dead ball line. Plays it back for Nelson, left hand corner of the area. Nelson goes for goal, it's straight at Neto. And he can drop Jordan Pickford style inside his own 6-yard box. 2 minutes of added time to go.
2-2, Alvin Martin. Well, Neto's seen that all the way, but you know, how many times have they blocked? Stevens, as you mentioned in the commentary there, right place, right time. They've done that all afternoon.
Goal kick downfield is won back by Arsenal, but given away on halfway, and suddenly Lewis Cook piles forward for Bournemouth. Solanke calling for it at the edge of the area. Cook looked for Christie down the right hand side of the box, but it's well protected for a goal kick. And here come Arsenal, minute and a half of added time to go. Rotherham 3, QPR 1. Points to save for the Millers. Here's Odegaard for Arsenal, trying to find a winner from 2-0 down Arsenal. Here's Zinchenko, out to Nelson, level with the edge of the area, left hand side, faced up by Smith, checks onto his right foot, puts the ball into the area, up go the heads, cleared away by Lewis Cook, comes out to Odegaard onto his left at the edge of the D, strikes against Billing, still not clear, edge of the area, Stevens, toe pokes it half clear, and then it's hit against Partey by Cook, and he's won a goal kick for his team. What a chance for Arsenal there with Odegaard for a brave block from Billing.
He's on his way. Billing has been outstanding. He's done everything in the game. I mean, he epitomises this performance by Bournemouth because he hasn't just worked hard. You know, they've all done that. But at times he's had the courage and the confidence to get the ball down, play people in. He's got himself a goal. You know, all-round performance. He has been unbelievable.
Coming up towards the 6 minutes of added time done. Arsenal have got one last attack left in them. They've got to throw in on halfway. Taken quickly by Gabriel. All eyes on Chris Kavanagh. As the 6 minutes are nearly up. 2-2. Arsenal coming forward. Odegaard, right hand corner of the box. Longs it back to Zinchenko. 25 yards out. Clips the ball into the box. Only half cleared. Volleyed away by Lewis Cook. Is that enough for Bournemouth? Saliba retrieves it. We still play on at 2-2. Odegaard again, right hand side, clips the ball into the area. Xhaka tries to knot it down. Nelson has it back to the edge of the area. Zinchenko drives it goes and it deflected wide for a corner kick right at the end.
We were watching it all the way. It looked like he was heading into that far right hand corner. The ricochet or the deflection took it away from the goal at a vital moment.
Corner for Odegaard at 2-2 at the North Bank end. In it comes, left-footed in-swinger, headed out to the edge of the box. Nelson brings it down, shoots goal! Oh my goodness! Lewis Nelson goes into Arsenal with a wonderful left-footed effort. The total challenge takes another incredible twist at Emirates Stadium. All on the pitch, the substitutes, the outfield players, Bournemouth players lying on the turf in the penalty area. They've lost it in the last minute, but Reece Nelson wins the game for Arsenal with the last kick of the game. 3-2.
Arsenal are going to be champions. They are. After what I've seen today, every emotion you've been through here, the crowd have been absolutely brilliant. They've stuck with their team, and their team have delivered right at the final moment. Unbelievable.
He's done it again, Reece Nelson. 3 Premier League appearances from the substitutes bench, 3 goals, and he's won the game for Arsenal.
All he did was say, I'm going to hit this as hard as I can, and it whistled past Neto. He didn't even see it. What a strike to win the game.
He won't hit a sweeter strike all career, Reece Nelson. We're only about to restart now on TalkSport 2 because it's taken about a minute and a half to clear the field of all the subs, and all the Arsenal staff have run on. Amazing.
Well, the amount of Arsenal staff that ran on there, they knew how big a goal that was, Dan. How big a moment in Arsenal season that was.
The full-time whistle goes. Joy unconfined around the Emirates Stadium. Mikel Arteta hugs his staff in a massive huddle because they know that right at the end they've beaten Bournemouth and re-extended that lead over Manchester City to 5 points. But how on earth they did it? 2-0 down
last seconds, but it looked like it was going to be all square. Reece Nelson drove in a sensational left-footed effort to take all 3 points for Arsenal. Incredible game, and we brought it to you live and free on TalkSport 2. Football is amazing, football's brilliant, but it throws up moments like this, Alvin.
Well, I mean all of the euphoria, the noise, the jubilation of watching Gary O'Neill walk around every player who's played for him today, pat them on the back and say thank you. But that's the other side. That's the other side. How important it was for Arsenal, how important that point would have been for Bournemouth. There you have it, the dark and the light.
The scarves are up in red and white all round Emirates Stadium as the players hug each other on the pitch, probably in disbelief at what they've managed to do, but they've done it all the same. The Bournemouth players trudge off the pitch. They were 2-0 up, but Arsenal battled and battled, and the 5-point lead at the top of the Premier League is re-established just in the nick of time. Nelson the hero, we've heard that before. Full time at Emirates Stadium. Arsenal 3, Bournemouth 2.
Just going to pause to bring you a bit more of this noise in North London. This racket. Listen to this. They believe. After that, why would you not believe? Sensational. Listen to it.
Tell you what, Dan, I saw some Arsenal fans sneaking out at stoppage time.
5 points clear, again at the summit of the Premier League table. Occasionally, you are fortunate enough to see something like that. The twists, the turns, the amazing, truly amazing entertainment.
Finishes on
it had it all.
3,
hardly a minute's
Bournemouth
peace.
2. What a response to Manchester City
10,
winning 2-0 against Newcastle live on TalkSport earlier in the day. So let's head round the ground.
The Emirates this afternoon will be able to say we were here 2-0 down with less than 30 minutes to go, and they found a way. They found a way to go 5 points clear. Arsenal at the top of the Premier League table again. They are top of the league. They know it. Reece Nelson, hardly a kick this season, delivering that moment, that thunderbolt from the blue. Erdegaard, that man Nelson, still out there. Ramsdale with his save in the first half to keep it at 1-0. Bournemouth did go 2 up, and then the response came from the Gunners. Thomas Partey first, then what a time to get your first Arsenal goal for Ben White, and then Alvin Martin. Reece Nelson off the bench to be the hero. Wow.
I'm still trying to get over what I've just witnessed. One of the most dramatic games I think I've seen for a long time, Dan. And I've got to say, I'm looking down there. How they did it, I do not know, because it didn't look like it was possible. But that's what teams that win titles do. They do remarkable things, and they do them in the most dramatic way. But I'll tell you what, they didn't look right for a large proportion of this game. They didn't have a focal point. I'm looking at Jesus down there. They still need him back between now and the end of the season
to get over the line.
But you know what these fans thinking here. They think we've done something remarkable today, and I do believe that this, when they win the title, and I think they will, they'll look back at this game and think that was the moment.
How can you not believe? How can you not believe after that? They were running out of bodies. I think at 2-0, running out of ideas. Bournemouth resolute, so defensively well disciplined. Gary O'Neill's side gave their everything to get something from North London this afternoon. Character wins titles.
Grit wins Premier League titles, and Arsenal have shown a whole heap of it this afternoon.
And we're 5 minutes after the end of the game, and the stadium's still mainly full. And you know that. I've got to say, the crowd today, because they went at their best for a large proportion of the game, they dominated it, but the quality in the final third wasn't what they're used to seeing this crowd. I think the crowd here have played a massive part in this game because they allowed their team to keep going.
Ecstasy for Arsenal. Always two sides, Salvin Martin to the same coin. Absolute agony for Bournemouth.
I've got to say, as the next player, I feel sorry for them. And I thought that was great. I seen Gary O'Neill with dignity walk onto the pitch at the end and walk round every player that had a Bournemouth shirt on, put his arm round them, and you can see what it meant to him, because I tell you what, they've lost a game here, a massive game, but they go into the next game certainly buoyant, because if they reach that level again from now to the end of the season, anywhere near it, they'll be okay.
A last-minute winner in the Premier League, affecting the Premier League title race. It truly does not get bigger or better than that. Live and exclusive this afternoon on TalkSport 2. Time for us now to pick our man of the match with Car Finance 24/7.
Man of the match on TalkSport 2 with Car Finance 24/7. Get your finance sorted first, then choose your car. Search Car Finance 24/7 today.
Oh, I chuckle. Our match summariser Alvin Martin looks to his right to Ian Danter.
Quickly went down the tunnel. The West Ham end, was half empty, which you can understand. Towards the end, had enough, gone home, and they voted with their feet. So the West Ham fans not happy. I'm not surprised, because they were dreadful.
The dictionary definition of pathetic, miserably inadequate, or a very low standard. Or in other words, West Ham. Finished here, Brighton 4, West Ham 0. All the full times are coming up. Chesterfield have just got a late winner at Gateshead in the National League. Let's get to Villa Park. What happened there this afternoon? TalkSport Sheffield.
He just added a little bit of extra down.
He struggled for minutes this season.
That's right.
He's been down the pecking order to deliver that moment off the bench, that impact, that goal.
He changed the atmosphere within that split second from what would have been despondency to the absolute opposite sphere. It was an unbelievable moment, and like I said, he won't hit a better ball for a long time. That was a great strike, and I'm going to give it to him, because I think he is the man that describes what's happened here better than anybody else this afternoon.
Reece Nelson, match winner and man of the match from today's game with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today.
Man of the match on TalkSport 2 with Car Finance 24/7. We search a panel of lenders to find you the best deal. Search Car Finance 24/7 today.
Very quickly, or I'll get in trouble. Alvin Martin, Ian Danter, you boys have been in this game for a fair old time. You seen anything like that?
I've seen some incredible games. I think back to Russia 2018 when I saw Portugal 3, Spain 3, Ronaldo's last second free kick. Belgium beating Japan 3-2 in the last second with Nasser Chadli when Japan were 2 up. So there's a great similarity between that game and this. But in terms of Premier League drama and atmosphere and the sheer will to win of a team like Arsenal, Alvin, you might know better than me. I can't think of anything like
I'm
this.
with you. Look, there's probably 10 games in the history of the game that come up to this. But I was in Istanbul for Liverpool, Milan. But this game today, it come out of nowhere. I didn't expect it. I expected Arsenal to roller coast it. I expected them to win, and they did win, but not in that fashion.